Go Figure TV. Revolutionary salute. Revolutionary salute. Like, share, subscribe. Welcome to the House of Revolution. You know I'm your humble host, the Yao Ming of Revolution. We got late night revolutionary classes. We got to deal with Katt Williams exposing the Boule, P. Diddy, all of them, and they ties to Epstein. We gotta walk real light when we say that fella's name on YouTube. Be sure to wipe your feet coming in the House of Revolution. That's hitting the like button. Let's put this in the algorithm. A lot of exposing going on. We got a lot of good content tonight, y'all. The Boule is threatening this man. They don't want this man speaking on this and speaking on them and exposing their hand. Let's get into exactly what's going on with this story.
I'm like I told Puffy, I don't let men take me out, sir. I'm good.
With all the allegations going on around P. Diddy, alleged controversy has resurfaced that Diddy and Jay-Z have been closely connected to Epstein Island. Katt Williams, a renowned American comedian and actor, has spilled all the beans, exposing Jay-Z and Diddy's role in the Epstein Island. The claims made by Katt Williams do look valid, as Diddy's reputation has become similar to Jeffrey Epstein in the entertainment industry. Many people say that he is the black version of Jeffrey Epstein. Given their extensive history of Jay-Z and Diddy being associated with scandals and controversies, it's not unreasonable to speculate that there might be some kind of connection between them and Epstein.
Sean P. Diddy Combs may very well be the black version of Jeffrey Epstein.
So what exactly did Katt Williams prove about Jay-Z and Diddy?
What's happening, Puff?
Revolutionary salute, family.
JD ain't had enough. Yeah. Jermaine Dupri.
In case you might be wondering, who is Jeffrey Epstein, let us break it down for you. Jeffrey was regarded as one of the billionaires in the world. According to Vox, Epstein targeted people with assets over $1 billion for his services and ran his business from the U.S. Even though Epstein seemed rich, living in a big house and donating a lot of money to different causes, it's not clear where his money came from. Many people say he's a billionaire, but Forbes disagrees, suggesting he was probably worth much less than that. The main factor why he has been a part of the most controversial topics is the fact that on July 8, 2019, the federal prosecutors accused Jeffrey Epstein, a wealthy man, of ST and S assault on minor girls. Little St. James is a small private island in the United States Virgin Islands, situated southeast of Great St. James. Both islands are located off the southern coast of the larger St. Thomas Island and fall under the sub-district East End St. Thomas. It's claimed that he kept these innocents on the island, which is named after his name, Epstein Island, from 1998 until his death in 2019. The 70 to 78-acre island was owned by Jeffrey Epstein, an American convicted child S offender. During Epstein's ownership, the island gained various local nicknames, including Epstein Island, Island of Sin, and P Island. Former employees reported that Victoria's Secret models were among the guests seen on Jeffrey Epstein's Little St. James Island. Billionaire Liz Wexner was noted to have visited the island at least once. Prince Andrew, Duke of York, reportedly paid at least one visit aboard Epstein's private jet to the island, with former staff suggesting multiple visits. According to attorneys representing alleged victims of Jeffrey Epstein, Little St. James is said to be the location where many crimes against minors were committed by Epstein and his associates who traveled there with him. Court documents claim that when she was 17 years old, Virginia Roberts was allegedly forced by Epstein to engage in S activities with Prince Andrew on multiple occasions, including as part of an orgy on Little St. James. Buckingham Palace has denied these allegations. A lawyer for Epstein has dismissed the claims of orgies by Roberts as old and discredited. There are reports that former U.S. President Bill Clinton used Epstein's private jet to travel to Little St. James on several occasions between 2002 and 2005. Virginia Roberts, later known as Virginia Giuffre, claimed in a lawsuit that she was part of an ST ring run by Epstein, and while traveling with him, she saw Clinton on the island. However, a Freedom of Information Act request for United States Secret Service records did not produce evidence of Clinton's visits to the island. Epstein's flight logs also did not indicate that Clinton flew near the U.S. Virgin Islands. In July 2019, a spokesperson for Clinton issued a statement denying that Clinton ever visited the island. Many people believe that they were allegedly involved in the younger ones. After many accusations regarding S assault and S offending, Epstein claimed he didn't do it and was put in jail without getting out. He stayed in jail until August 10th when news came out that he died by committing S. His death has also been a part of many discussions by many people alleging that someone might have murdered him due to the injuries on his neck. Many questions are still there about Epstein's life, ST of minors, and money. Some of these questions came up in the case against Ghislaine Maxwell, who was friends with Epstein for a long time. She was arrested in July 2020 and was later found guilty of 5 out of 6 charges. In June 2022, she was given a 20-year prison sentence. During the spring, the Journal uncovered several new names by gaining access to a previously undisclosed collection of documents. This trove included thousands of emails and Epstein's private schedules spanning from 2013 to 2017. Concurrently, the New York Times acquired Epstein's scheduling documents through a public records request to the U.S. Virgin Islands Attorney General. It's important to note that these documents cover the period after Epstein's 2008 guilty plea to soliciting and procuring a minor for P in Florida. Additionally, some of the timeframes extend beyond 2015 when Epstein was publicly accused of ST by victim Virginia Giuffre. Recently, a new revelation has come to light. A document is set to be released consisting of 170 people connected to Jeffrey Epstein. It includes former employees and victims who are about to face an uncomfortable situation as their names are set to be revealed in court documents. Some of these individuals have been accused of participating in Epstein's exploitation and abuse of underage girls.
I think when you get rich, you get bored. Like when you get rich, you can buy anything you want. You can have any human being you want.
The judge has set a release date of January 1st to allow those listed in the court filing sufficient time to appeal the decision. While it remains unclear whose names are on the list, Judge Preska mentioned that many of them have already been mentioned in the media. These documents, previously sealed, are now going to be made public in the next few weeks. The decision comes from Manhattan federal judge Loretta Preska, who ordered the release of these documents from a defamation lawsuit filed in 2015 by Virginia Roberts Giuffre against Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's associate. The schedules obtained include specific information about various meetings that Epstein had planned and the individuals involved. Notably, many of these meetings were held at Epstein's Upper East Side townhouse, which is among the locations where he is alleged to have SA women and girls. The document is set to refer to several individuals as public figures, including one person whose name was listed in Epstein's well-known Little Black Book. The ruling also highlights instances where former Epstein employees and victims have spoken out, such as Kathy and Miles Alexander, who managed Epstein's private island Little St. James from 1999 to 2007. Haley Robson, identified as one of Epstein's alleged recruiters, can also be recognized as a doe based on a 2020 interview where she discussed her involvement with Epstein when she was a teenager. The ruling also mentions Tiala Davies, a victim of Epstein, who claims she was repeatedly A as a teenager at Epstein's residences in New York, Florida, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Paris. Many people believe that Jay-Z and P. Diddy are also going to be part of the list due to their recent history with Jeffrey Epstein. A tweet has surfaced on X showing a picture of a 14-year-old girl with Bill Clinton, who used to visit Epstein Island. It is claimed that the girl was also photographed with P. Diddy when she was a minor. The tweet says, "Did you know Rachel Chandler, one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims, was photographed with P. Diddy at the age of 14? She was also photographed with Bill Clinton. So there is an image of this girl with a photograph with P. Diddy." The situation around this is getting crazier day by day. There's been evidence around for years, but it's only coming out now. Why? Because Cassie spoke up. No one thought to come forward and talk to the authorities earlier to protect themselves. The former bodyguard of P. Diddy, who's speaking out, claims it's because he has kids, but the real reason seems to be that his name is in some paperwork. This is why all the bodyguards are talking now. Gene dealt with it years ago, but the others only started speaking up after they stopped working and the money dried up. They're doing it because of some 35 to 60-page paperwork that mentions the bodyguards. Whenever these girls were with Puffy, the bodyguards were there too. So they knew what was happening but didn't say anything until now. Now, many people have also spoken up about how parents should be held accountable too, because it's not right for their 14-year-old kids to be hanging out with older people. If the child isn't into singing or acting, there's no reason for them to be around those folks. This leads to a suspicion where the youngsters are bought by these so-called big celebrities against their will to be taken advantage of. It's not a legal business deal, so why are they together? We also need to question why the parents are not brought into these situations. People focus on shows like Surviving Puffy and Surviving R. Kelly, but people should listen to the parents' side of the story too.
In Hollywood, just do the drugs right in front of you and act like ain't happened.
Katt Williams has also exposed the truth about Hollywood and the big stars, alleging them as gay. He also mentioned them having big mansion parties and having their kind of fun. A few years back, Katt also made remarks about Diddy and Jermaine Dupri, implying that they were involved in some harmful actions towards the members of the rap duo Criss Cross. According to Katt, these alleged actions had a detrimental impact on one of the boys, leading him down a destructive path where he turned to drugs as a way to cope. Sadly, this reportedly resulted in a tragic drug overdose.
To be gay in Hollywood, you never expected. They be having these big mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little room.
People who have worked with Diddy have been exposed to G young boys for his benefit. Many controversies surrounding Diddy also allege that he is gay. One name that has been on his G list is Usher. However, Katt Williams has called out Diddy, alleging that in his autobiography, Diddy openly talks about his experiences, including who he was intimate with and the choices he made. He didn't hide the challenging or private aspects of his life, things most people wouldn't share. He even went beyond typical boundaries, marrying 7 white women.
His autobiography, sir. In his autobiography, he tells you who he slept with, what he did. That's what made him the GOAT, is because he did not hide the things that were bad in his life.
Diddy has also been accused of assault by his ex-girlfriend Cassie, and she has made serious allegations against him in the lawsuit, which does not make it hard to believe for many people how far he can go. According to reports, Diddy is not just accused of G young artists. There are allegations that he has gone even further and done some terrible things to silence and control them. It turns out that these claims have been circulating for years, with some individuals like Cassie trying to expose Diddy's questionable business practices. However, not many people paid attention back then because the extent of Diddy's actions wasn't widely known. While there were occasional comments about Diddy taking credit for his artists' work without properly compensating them, it wasn't until Cassie's lawsuit that the darker side of Diddy allegedly came to light, making the situation look very grim for him. Cassie filed a lawsuit against Diddy in federal court, claiming that the prominent hip-hop figure her and subjected her to a pattern of lasting for a decade, starting when she was 19. The R&B singer, formerly signed to Diddy's label, Bad Boy Records, has brought forward allegations including ST, and gender-motivated violence, among other legal claims. Diddy is accused of using intimidation tactics to control Cassie, which allegedly included damaging a person's car, threatening a friend by dangling them over a 17th floor balcony, and requesting her to carry his gun in her purse. Because of fear that involving the police might lead to further harm, Cassie chose not to report these incidents. However, Diddy has denied these allegations. However, when Cassie did approach the police and file a lawsuit, the case was settled in just a day for $30 million. It is said that Diddy paid $100 million to settle the lawsuit and avoid legal trouble. This shows to what extent Diddy can go to protect himself from going to jail, as well as silencing the victims. However, that's not all. It wasn't just Cassie who was assaulted when she was young. There were other girls too. A 17-year-old college girl also stepped forward to file a lawsuit against Diddy, alleging that he gang-R'd her. However, Diddy denied the allegations, claiming that he was the target of such allegations to acquire money. However, with the claims made by Cassie and other allegations made against him, many people now see him as a S offender. According to reports, a model's name appeared in Epstein's schedules after 2008. There is also mention that one of Epstein's accusers accompanied him to an event involving Naomi Campbell in Paris. This information adds to the complexity of the situation and raises questions about the extent of connections between individuals like Naomi Campbell and Jeffrey Epstein after his 2008 guilty plea. According to the Ukrainian model, she attended a fashion event for Naomi Campbell in Paris in 2010, where Jeffrey Epstein noticed her. Afterward, Epstein allegedly sent a Russian woman to approach her. This woman reportedly portrayed Epstein as a wealthy philanthropist, emphasizing his friendship with Naomi Campbell and suggesting that he could assist the Ukrainian model in advancing her modeling career. The Ukrainian model described the Russian woman sent by Epstein as appearing very upper class and mentioned seeing her in the VIP crowd alongside celebrities. According to a spokeswoman for the model, Naomi Campbell was unaware that Epstein was allegedly using her name to attract young girls interested in modeling. The spokeswoman further stated that Epstein, as he did with many others, exaggerated his acquaintanceship with Campbell. The spokeswoman conveyed that Campbell deeply regrets any contact she had with Epstein after his conviction. She deeply regrets having had any contact with Epstein after his conviction. Now, because of this incident, there are widespread implications involving many individuals, and some claims suggest that Diddy and Naomi Campbell may be implicated. Naomi Campbell asserted that she was unaware of Epstein's alleged misconduct. There are suggestions that Diddy, who has strong ties with her, may have been closer to Epstein through his connection with Ron Burkle. The claim is that Diddy was attracted to the influence and power associated with Epstein, especially during a time when Epstein was seen as a prominent figure. People are speculating that Diddy could be listed as a visitor to Epstein's Manhattan mansion when the full list is revealed. It's noteworthy that Ron Burkle, who is described as Diddy's fairy godfather and has connections with Bill Clinton, was reportedly involved with both Diddy and Epstein in humanitarian trips to Africa. Epstein was closely linked to Les Wexner, the CEO and founder of L Brands, the company that owns Victoria's Secret and Bath & Body Works. When Epstein was recently arrested on federal charges, Wexner admitted that Epstein used to manage his money and had a role in the Wexner Foundation, a charitable organization. Wexner claimed to have cut ties with Epstein 12 years ago and insisted he was unaware of Epstein's criminal activities. Wexner wrote in a letter to L Brands stating, "I would never have guessed that a person I employed more than a decade ago could have caused such pain to so many people," Wexner wrote in a letter to L Brands employees. "My heart goes out to each and every person who has been hurt." Their connections were extensive, with Wexner granting Epstein significant control over his finances, charitable endeavors, and personal matters, according to the New York Times. Epstein went so far as to attempt involvement in the recruitment of models for Victoria's Secret's renowned catalog, causing concern among company executives. Despite being alerted about the situation, Wexner assured executives he would address the matter, but Epstein's efforts in model recruitment persisted. Now, if you're wondering, where Diddy lies in all this, hold on to your seats. The reason people question Diddy's connection is because he's behaving similarly. He signed young artists to Bad Boy Records and allegedly exploited them. Diddy also used to be close with Donald Trump, as Trump boasted on The Apprentice. However, Diddy distanced himself when Trump associated with a real billionaire. According to Diddy, Trump exaggerated his wealth, but when he found a genuine billionaire in Ron Burkle, Diddy changed his stance. It's not only Diddy who is under scrutiny for his actions, it's Jay-Z as well. Jay-Z has also faced scrutiny due to his association with Harvey Weinstein, who has been accused of SA. This connection has raised questions and concerns about Jay-Z's associations and involvement in situations involving individuals accused of serious wrongdoing. Jay-Z was also listed in the defendant list in the Epstein-Ghislaine-Maxwell trial in November 2021. A tweet and some Facebook posts showed a picture of a legal document from a court case. In that document, Jay-Z, along with the Weinstein Company, the Walt Disney Company, and many others, are listed as defendants. In August 2020, a lawsuit was filed claiming that Jay-Z and others were part of a criminal enterprise. The lawsuit alleges that these defendants were involved in human T, SA, and various abuses. The accusations include financial exploitation, economic exploitation, drugging for abduction, and hostage-taking. The main plaintiff claimed that over 3 decades, the defendants conspired to unlawfully surveil, drug, and abduct them for SA, ST, and other exploitative abuse. The lawsuit also alleged a conspiracy to transact a purchase agreement to buy the plaintiff from their mother. Furthermore, it claimed that the defendants exploited the plaintiff's economic prowess and unique abilities in stock picking, predicting business trends, and creating lucrative trade secrets. The lawsuit was dismissed by a judge in September 2020 because the claims were considered irrational and there was no legal basis to support them. Although multiple individuals were listed as plaintiffs, only Charlene Latham signed the complaint or requested to proceed without prepayment of fees. Latham had previously filed a similar lawsuit in March 2020 in another federal court, targeting Epstein's estate and President Donald Trump. This lawsuit sought over $50 million in damages, including the proceeds from the sale of Epstein's Palm Beach property. However, the judge in that case also dismissed the lawsuit, stating that the plaintiff failed to present a valid claim for relief. Many people believe that billionaires like Epstein's connections with Jay-Z were able to avoid the lawsuit due to his power, fame, and money, while the victims were unable to provide the substantial proof required because they might have become scared of the power and hold Epstein had over the law. Many people have taken the social media making claim, although unverified but not illogical to be understood. This is one of the reasons why many people are raising eyebrows of speculation about this. Now, with the new list coming out very soon, it's just a matter of time for other people like Diddy, Jay-Z, among many others, to face the actions of their consequences. A user said, "Yes, I agree that the connections are starting to appear in who Diddy has put Diddy in the position to feel like he was above the law. Diddy has been damaging people for a long time. I hope he gets everything he deserves. No passes for people who commit crimes against humanity. Diddy and everyone he is connected with will be held accountable." Another user said, "I question why these documents are being unsealed now. He's been dead for years now. I feel like something bad has happened and we are being distracted from it." That's it.
Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker.
Oh,
Nice. If I didn't know no better, I'd tell you he's the greatest.
Turns out Williams may not have been lying about Chris Tucker having a history with the very controversial Epstein, and the confirmation came from the actor himself.
You knew Jeffrey Epstein, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my God.
You know, we flew.
But the big question is, why is this even such a big deal? Well, here's why.
The day many high-profile figures may have been dreading has happened, as dozens of big names have been revealed in the first wave of documented convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Tell me, how many times have you seen someone star in a movie franchise that broke all the records for years and even had installments to it, get up and leave the entertainment industry without looking back? Not a lot. Well, this was Chris Tucker's story. Initially, we thought his decision to exit Hollywood came from a place of touching the highest of heights, which made sense since he had his face on the covers of major productions. But Katt Williams has just revealed that we might not have been entirely correct. It seems having the type of success he did opened him up to a world of access to all the deepest secrets of the entertainment industry. And if we're to take Williams's word for it, this site might have been too ugly for Tucker to handle. To most people, when the name Chris Tucker comes up, the first thing that usually comes to mind is, for those that do know him well enough, is stand-up. For others who might not know his history well enough, Rush Hour is the first thought. Well, the thing that both sides have in common is that they're aware he became immensely successful in both professional pursuits, especially considering that decades after, his stand-up shows and his movie with actor Jackie Chan are still getting views like they aren't from an entirely different generation. And while his Rush Hour partner went on to star in an almost endless list of movies, Tucker decided to hang his boots. This singular move from this global superstar has left several people, fans and fellow celebrities alike, with questions about what makes a man with that much potential in front of him decide not to pursue it. This conversation has already gone back and forth on social media, with people claiming that the most probable reason for his decision was that he already made more money than he could ever need off of the projects he already made. This, if we're to believe what Katt Williams has just said, couldn't be further from the truth. It seems Tucker realized that the perception he had of Hollywood coming up in the industry was miles away from his reality when he became one of the big names himself. Now, many people may be hesitant about believing Williams' side of this story because, let's face it, he doesn't exactly have a history of staying out of controversy. But what tips the scales slightly in his favor is that the claims he made about Tucker already have their foundation in published reports involving several of the biggest names in the industry, and even the world at large.
40 of an expected 250 documents have been released so far, but Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, Stephen Hawking, Donald Trump, and Michael Jackson are already among the names made public.
Throughout the years, several people have told us that the entertainment industry isn't really what it poses to be on the outside to people who aren't there, and more times than not, we've doubted these claims. These days, they aren't just claims anymore. Several pieces of evidence have been coming out to confirm the stories. And in the spirit of revelations being made, it seems Chris Tucker might have known a lot more about the dark side of this industry than he'd been letting up. Tucker's rise to fame was nothing short of a wild roller coaster ride.
I'll be asking the questions, old man. Who are you? You. No, not me, you. Yes, I'm.
He originally became a frequent guest on the legendary Def Comedy Jam in 1992, showcasing his exceptional, clean stand-up comedy routines. Unlike many comedians of the time who relied on vulgar humor, Tucker's comedic style was a breath of fresh air, witty, sharp, and family-friendly. It wasn't long before Tucker's talent caught the attention of the silver screen. In 1994, he made his film debut in House Party 3, rubbing shoulders with the likes of Bernie Mac, Marquez Houston, and Connie Alexander. But it wasn't until much later that Tucker would get to a point he could truly leave a mark with one of his most notable and side-splitting performances on Friday, among others. However, the man seemingly exited the limelight with the same speed it took him to get in. And according to Katt Williams, this might have been tied to him getting exposed to the dark side of the industry. Williams suggested that Tucker had traveled to convicted S-offender Jeffrey Epstein's island, where the late financier was running an ST ring with partner Ghislaine Maxwell. In a new viral interview on Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay Shay, the Friday After Next star spoke about why it would be hard to make another Friday movie due to the many great people that have passed on since the original films. However, Williams said Tucker, who is still alive, is no longer the same person he was when he originally portrayed Smokey in the 1995 cult classic. And the Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island's Chris Tucker, not Smokey, Williams said.
The Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker, not Smokey.
What makes Katt's story seem far from a lie is that there were also dozens of high-profile names that appeared in the previously sealed court documents related to Epstein, which featured the names of over 170 associates of the convicted ST. For those who may not have been aware, ever since billionaire Jeffrey Epstein was arrested on July 6th on charges of ST, the media have been scrambling to make sense of what happened on Little St. James, his 70-acre private island in the Caribbean. But on nearby St. Thomas, locals say Epstein continued to bring underage girls to the island as recently as this year, a decade after he was forced to register as a convicted SO, and that authorities did nothing to stop him. Two employees who worked at the local airstrip on St. Thomas tell Vanity Fair that they witnessed Epstein boarding his private plane on multiple occasions in the company of girls who appeared to be under the age of consent. According to the employees, the girls arrived with Epstein aboard one of his two Gulfstream jets. Between January 2018 and June 2019, previously published flight records show the jets were airborne at least one out of every 3 days. They stopped all over the world, sometimes for only a few hours at a time: Paris, London, Slovakia, Mexico, Morocco. When they left St. Thomas, the employees say, they returned to airports near Epstein's homes in Palm Beach and New York City. On multiple occasions, I saw Epstein exit his helicopter, stand on the tarmac in full view of my tower, and board his private jet with children. Female children, says a former air traffic controller at the airstrip who asked to remain anonymous. One incident in particular really stands out in my mind because the girls were just so young. They couldn't have been over 16. Epstein looked very angry and hurled his jacket at one of them. They were also carrying shopping bags from stores, not on the island. I remember thinking, where in the world have they been shopping? According to the recently released documents, some of the celebrities whose names had come up for having been guests on the island ranged from powerful political figures all the way to some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry, including the likes of Leonardo DiCaprio, Donald Trump, and Michael Jackson, who, if I might add, Katt Williams revealed to have been best friends with Chris Tucker.
To be confident and not delusional is a real skill. Most of these confident people we see is really delusional.
Well, you don't think that?
Seeing as these people, who you could say ruled the entertainment industry at different points, were the ones mentioned, it's not far-fetched to think that Tucker might have landed an invite to the island since he was also at the top of his game back when he was still in it. Well, several fans seem to buy Williams' story, claiming that they had known something was fishy about Tucker even before now. One of these people wrote, "I've always thought Chris Tucker walking away from Smokey because he didn't want to be the poster child for smoking weed was so stupid, especially in the 90s00s. Others are saying Tucker is just one of many people on a black book and might not be as innocent of it all as we think." They wrote, "I'm telling y'all, some are surprised or still in denial, but Trump and his family have been in the black book, which was released a while ago and redacted. And yes, Chris Tucker is in it too. Damn." However, some fans also stood up to Tucker's defense, claiming that he didn't actually go there to partake in the dark activities. One person wrote, "Nah, we ain't doing that. Chris Tucker was Bill Clinton's friend. They did humanitarian work with Bono for a spell there. They just used Epstein's plane." I mean, if Chris Tucker really did go there for a completely different reason, I ask you, is it so unthinkable that the things he saw other big names in the industry indulge in might have been what sent him on his heels out of the industry? Most of his fans on the internet don't think it's entirely unlikely, but there are still so many levels to this story that raise even more questions. Nonetheless, what do you think?
Williams jumping into the Diddy situation and spilling some crazy tea about how Diddy tried to seduce him? Girl, the more we learn about Diddy and his situation, the more we realize just how messed up everything is behind the scenes. And at this point, it really seems like Diddy was trying to sleep with half the men in Hollywood. And y'all can trust Katt to spill the tea on that because that's exactly what he did. Did Diddy really try to pay Katt $50 million for a one-night stand? Now, Katt Williams is one person in the industry that you do not want to mess with because he will expose you. He's not the type to play games or hide any shady secrets about the industry because he is going to spill every time. And that's exactly what he is doing to Diddy because he just exposed Diddy for trying to hook up with him. Girl, at this point, it's safe to say that Diddy ain't ever beaten the allegations of him being on the DL. Because, child, there have been way too many people coming out to say that Diddy tried to sleep with them or forced them to sleep with him. And the rumors have been around for ages, even though Diddy has gone over and beyond to hide the secret. He literally got Wendy Williams fired in the 90s because she tried to expose him for being on the DL.
There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such.
But you can't hide in an industry as big as Hollywood. And as expected, rumors started to go around of his secret shenanigans with men, even with those in the industry. For example, rapper Exhibit once told the story of how Diddy took him out for a fun time, only for them to end up in a gay bar. He claimed that Diddy never told him that they were going to a gay bar, and once they were there, Exhibit was so shaken that he ran away from the bar, leaving Diddy at the venue.
We go down and get a drink. You know, we sitting there bobbing to the music, and then she point over the corner. It's two dudes kissing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, the f this? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay. Then it's girls in the club too, and then she point another direction. It's another dude over there like butt naked dancing. You know what I'm saying?
Exhibit was not the only rapper that Diddy tried to put moves on, because 50 Cent also claimed that Diddy tried to take him shopping as a way to seduce him and get him into his bed.
So, yo, when we gonna get the chance to, to kick it, like we can just hang out. We gotta kick it.
This is possible. Okay.
You're telling me we gotta kick it. He's like, yo, why don't we like go shopping or something? I mean, like I pay for it. And I was like, this just say.
There's also the time he went on The Breakfast Club and said that Diddy was fruity.
When he's doing, he says things, he doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity.
And that's not all, because his former bodyguard, Gene, also spilled the tea on Diddy's escapades with men.
And he said, yo, Gene, watch the door. Don't let nobody come through here. And I said, I watched the door. If I watched the door and him and a man ran out naked, and I said that, ain't nobody told me that. I saw that myself.
And speaking of Gene, he also spilled the tea about how the freak-offs that Diddy had with Cassie were actually for Diddy's benefit and not Cassie, because Diddy was on the DL and he loved his escapades with men.
And she said that, in this lawsuit that, Diddy, he enjoyed watching her get smashed by BBCs. So, what you think about that?
Do you think she was the only one getting banged by him? Do you think this man had this woman search for prostitutes online just for them to have sex with her?
He also went on to say this.
Cassie wasn't the only one who wanted, or she didn't want it, but Cassie who searched for the big black, and she was searching for the big black not only for herself, but for somebody else who we all know that was in the room with her. So if he want to see it and he want her to touch it, that other person in the room with her just might want to feel it, allegedly.
So you feel like Diddy was having sex with the male prostitutes?
They had to be for both of them. They was in the room, right?
You're right.
It's a freak-off section.
Gene also claimed that he used to witness Diddy doing some interesting things to and with men in the industry. And as it turns out, Diddy also made moves towards Katt Williams, and Katt recently spilled the tea. In a new interview, Katt told the story of how Diddy tried to put moves on him for a very long time. He claimed that Diddy tried to seduce him for years and get him in his bed. And when that didn't work, he then threw his money around and offered him $50 million.
I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Boy, just how desperate was Diddy to get Katt in his bed, because $50 million for a one-night stand is just insane. And is it just me, or does it seem like Diddy enjoys the chase? Katt's revelations had fans shook, and they left comments saying, that was heartbreaking. This is very disappointing and not funny at all. These slimes are all destroying the Black community for Hollywood. Katt been exposed in Hollywood, but people called him crazy. He told us about those parties in Hollywood. A lot of your favorite actors and musicians are involved in some sinister stuff, especially involving children. A lot of people are not ready for the truth. And to think that even being a grown A man with muscles still isn't safe in Hollywood, what chance do women have? This situation is crazy, but y'all let me know what your thoughts are about this situation.
Harvey, they're heating things up in Italy. Notice her arm is on the back of his chair.
It's no secret that Katt Williams has never been a Steve Harvey fan. In fact, Katt has publicly called out Steve on more than one occasion for being a liar and selling his soul for money and fame. But in the latest turn of events, Katt is apparently pointing the finger at Steve for allegedly pimping out his daughter Lori to the man who is slowly but surely getting exposed as a real-life demon, Sean Diddy Combs. Lori never admitted she was in a relationship with Diddy. However, photos don't lie, and these two have been spotted sharing PDA on more than one occasion. They were even seen getting all cozy in front of Lori's parents, Steve and Marjorie, which means that not only did Steve know about Lori dating Diddy, but he also gave this bizarre relationship his stamp of approval. Now, the reason Lori's relationship with Diddy is bizarre is not only because of their age difference. Of course, that's already creepy enough because Diddy is 28 years older than Lori. Let that sink in. When Lori was born, Diddy was almost 30 and already had a 5-year-old son. But there's another reason why Lori hooking up with Diddy is extremely problematic. It was recently revealed that Lori was very close with Diddy's late ex, Kim Porter. In fact, they were so close that when Kim died, Lori shared a now deleted Instagram post referring to Kim as her mama. And yet, just months after Kim's sudden and mysterious passing, Lori started an affair with Diddy, and Steve Harvey, the self-proclaimed relationship guru, approved of this? Well, no wonder people are looking at Steve Harvey sideways, especially now that Diddy is getting exposed for all kinds of vile things, from putting his hands on women to trafficking teenagers. And one of the people who is probably now saying, "I told you so," is Katt Williams, because Katt has been trying to warn us for years that Steve is the complete opposite of what he portrays himself as in public. But what exactly did Katt say about Steve and Diddy? And is it really true that Steve pimped out Lori to Diddy? Let's get into it.
That's in his autobiography, sir. In his autobiography, he tells you who he slept with, what he did. That's what made him the GOAT.
Ever since Cassie filed her explosive lawsuit against Diddy on November 16th, one day after the 5th anniversary of Kim Porter's death, it's like karma has been putting in overtime to expose not just Diddy and all his alleged crimes, but also his enablers. And word on the street is that one of these enablers is none other than Mr. Steve Harvey. Steve has been laying low ever since Diddy's downfall started. However, their friendship is well documented, and Stevie always spoke highly of Diddy.
I'm friends with the guy that started these schools, Steve Perry. Yes. He told me. And see, the thing about Diddy, he didn't make a big splash about it. He just kept pressing him, because what my friend Dr. Perry was telling was, why don't you just start, it's quicker, we can just start an after-school program. He said, no, I want to start a school here in Harlem.
Now, before we go into what Katt Williams said about Steve allegedly being Diddy's handler, let's take a closer look at Diddy's very strange relationship with Steve's daughter, Lori Harvey. Rumors about Lori's romantic entanglements with both Diddy and his son Justin have been swirling for years. However, the true fascination surrounding Lori's connections with the Combs family goes beyond just rumors, because recent revelations have shed light on Lori's close bond with the late Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-girlfriend and mother of 3 of his children. Kim died suddenly on November 15, 2018, at the age of 47, supposedly due to complications of pneumonia, and just months later, Lori was spotted getting cozy with Diddy in public.
There's Lori Harvey, you know, Steve Harvey's 22-year-old stepdaughter, in New York looking super happy. And there's Diddy looking, nervous.
So this is fueling the dating rumors that have been going on for a few weeks now.
Yeah, they've been hanging out. Saw her getting out of Diddy's car last week at Nobu, but...
And while Lori later explicitly denied that she dated both Diddy and his son Justin, she didn't exactly clarify if this meant she only dated the father. Now, besides the suspicious timeline of Lori's romance with Diddy, another bizarre detail in this story is the fact that Lori affectionately used to call Kim Porter Mama, which raises all kinds of questions regarding ethical boundaries. Now, you probably know that there's a long-standing conspiracy about Diddy allegedly being involved in Kim Porter's death. Multiple people have said that Kim was writing a tell-all book before she died. And then there's also the fact that Kim's ex-husband, Al B. Sure, publicly referred to Kim's death as murder in a since-deleted Instagram post. But see, not only did Al delete this post, he allegedly almost got deleted himself. Just months after publicly voicing his doubts about the official cause of Kim's death, Al B. developed multiple organ failure and spent 2 months in a coma. And amid all these disturbing coincidences, another set of rumors started to circulate, linking Lori Harvey to the downfall of Kim Porter and painting a bleak narrative of betrayal. The timeline alone is strange enough because just months after Lori shared a now-deleted message on her Instagram referring to Kim as Mama, she suddenly embarked on a whirlwind romance with Diddy. Their joint appearances at events, social outings, vacations, and even hints at a possible pregnancy sparked a lot of controversy. And this contrast becomes especially significant in light of Kim's documented struggles with Diddy. Rumors about Lori hooking with Diddy first started swirling on the internet in early 2019, just months after Kim Porter's passing. According to this report by Hot New Hop Hop, during the first week of March 2019, Diddy and Lori attended a reggae music festival in Miami together. By the way, Lori was 22 at the time and Diddy was 50 years old. After footage of Lori and Diddy at the music festival started spreading like wildfire on social media, Lori's representative quickly issued a statement to TMZ, categorically denying any romantic involvement between Lori and Diddy. But despite this denial, there were multiple instances during the summer of 2019 that contradicted this claim, as Lori and Diddy were repeatedly seen together on various occasions, including this late-night stroll in New York City. Finally, in July 2019, a source close to Lori confirmed in a statement to Hollywood Life that Lori and Diddy have indeed become close after Kim Porter's death. However, the insider still insisted that the relationship was platonic and that Lori was simply helping Diddy deal with grief because she also lost someone close to her. The source said, Lori has been friends with the whole family for years, but she and Diddy have gotten a lot closer over the past 6 months or so, really since Kim's death, because Lori was very close to Kim too. She was grieving too, so she was really able to be there for Diddy in his grief. She uplifts him. This has been one of the hardest times of Diddy's life, if not the hardest. So anyone that can bring light to his life, he cherishes. And Lori has a way of making him smile. She makes him happy. They're good friends. However, the fact that Diddy and Lori went to a reggae music festival just 3 months after Kim's passing, and then to a strip club in Atlanta where, according to TMZ, Diddy was making it rain all night, raised a lot of eyebrows. Sure, everyone grieves differently, but still, one can't help but wonder, how come Diddy had so much energy to party at strip clubs with Lori just months after Kim died, while at the same time claiming he was going through one of the hardest times of his life? And while Diddy Diddy remains the main villain in all these narratives, Lori's role also raises some serious questions. To start with, Lori was rumored to have hooked up with Diddy's son, Justin Combs, shortly before she went public with Diddy. And this is when people started saying there must be something seriously wrong with Diddy if he's going after his son's rumored ex. Now, to be clear, there is no actual proof that Lori dated Justin Combs. They were spotted a couple of times at the same party. However, Lori was never touchy-feely with Justin the way she was with Diddy. What's also interesting is that back in January, shortly after Lori started dating her now ex Damson Idris, she sat down for an interview with E! News host Adrienne Bailon and strongly denied dating the Combs father-son duo.
But I've always wanted to know, what is like the biggest misconception about who Lori Harvey is?
It's so funny because I'm so quiet.
Yeah.
There's been so many stories that have been made up about me. I've heard I've dated a father and son before.
Not true?
Absolutely not true.
But technically, Lori didn't deny dating just the father. And then, what's also worth pointing out is that E! News has now deleted this interview from their official YouTube channel, and you can only find short snippets of it shared by fans on social media. So it looks like someone's PR team is working overtime to erase all traces of Lori and Diddy's relationship. But you already know that the internet never forgets, and no one can beat social media detectives when it comes to digging up dirt on these celebrities. And one crucial detail that fans recently unearthed is the message Lori shared on her Instagram shortly after Kim Porter's passing. Lori posted this photo of her and the late Kim with the caption that read, "Having a hard processing this one. You were such a beautiful person inside and out. Thank you for always being so sweet and loving to me. I'm so glad I told you how much I loved and missed you the last time I saw you. Your energy was truly something special. An angel on earth and now in heaven. Rip Mama Kim." Now, again, we all process grief differently, but it still seems strange, to say the least, that a 22-year-old girl would be interested in dating a 50-year-old ex-boyfriend of the dead woman she used to call Mama. Because if Kim was a mother figure to Lori, what does that make Diddy? Granted, Kim and Diddy were already broken up when Kim died, but still, Kim was very much part of Diddy's life, and she's the mother of 3 of his children. So the fact that Lori allegedly hooked up with Diddy just 3 months after Kim died is quite frankly disturbing. On top of that, we've all heard stories about Diddy's alleged mistreatment of Kim, from emotional abuse and controlling behavior to vicious beatings. And it's hard to imagine that Lori was completely unaware of these rumors because everyone in those circles knew just how toxic Diddy was to Kim. What's also disturbing is that Lori actually resembles young Kim Porter, which led some fans to speculate that Diddy hooking up with Lori so quickly after Kim's passing was almost like some kind of twisted fantasy. One fan tweeted back then, "Lori Harvey looks like Kim Porter, and I am convinced that Diddy is being creepy and weird considering how he's been whining over how he lost the love of his life. Now he's gone and found a lookalike." And then someone else pointed out that Lori looks like a combination between Kim Porter and Cassie. Now, let's be clear, placing blame on Lori for Kim's demise wouldn't be fair. And Diddy certainly takes the lead as the #1 villain in all these narratives. However, it's still shocking to think that Lori might have betrayed Kim's trust by getting involved with Diddy under those circumstances. And even if Lori didn't know the whole history between Diddy and Kim, it's a stretch to believe that an industry veteran like her dad, Steve Harvey, was also in the dark. Steve must have known exactly who Diddy was and how he does business, because they've reportedly known each other since the 90s. Also, in August 2019, Lori and Diddy took a family trip to Italy with Steve and Marjorie, and these photos of Lori affectionately touching Diddy's neck pretty much confirmed what everyone had already suspected by that point. And then the following month, the story took another shocking twist when Lori and Diddy took another vacation, this time to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. And Lori sparked pregnancy rumors after TMZ snapped these photos of Diddy touching her belly.
Diddy and Lori Harvey, they were seen in Cabo, and at one point, Diddy reaches underneath her blouse to touch her stomach, almost as in like a
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Luckily, the pregnancy rumors were proven to be false, but it still boggles the mind how Steve Harvey was fine with all this. Granted, Lori was a grown woman, and it's not like Steve could actually ban her from seeing Diddy. But what kind of father would go on a vacation to watch his 22-year-old daughter with a 50-year-old man? And not just any man, but a man with one of the worst reputations in the industry. Now, going back to those photos of Lori and Diddy in Italy, these photos recently again started making the rounds on social media due to one seemingly small detail, Lor's nail polish. In case you missed it, Cassie revealed in her lawsuit that Diddy made her wear white nail polish during forced freak-off sessions with male S-workers because he enjoyed seeing the contrast of her nails against the S-workers' dark skin. Now, does this 100% confirm Lori also took part in some types of freak-offs with Diddy? Well, no, of course not. However, rumors are now starting to circulate that Lori had some kind of a girlfriend contract with Diddy. And, allegedly, this contract was brokered by none other than her dad, Steve. Besides that, recent reports suggest that Katt Williams has allegedly told people in his inner circle that Steve should be investigated next because he might have been involved in some shady activities with Diddy. And this isn't even the first time Katt tried to warn the public about Steve Harvey and the dark side of the industry. Katt, widely known for his hilarious comedy, has carved out a niche for himself with his unmatched humor, dynamic performances, and record-breaking stand-up specials. But even with his prominent place among Hollywood's comedic elites, he hasn't received the same mainstream support as some of his peers, including Steve Harvey. See, there's this widespread feeling that Katt Williams might have faced professional consequences because he consistently called out the shady dealings of Hollywood's elite. Not only that, but Katt has always shown a clear dislike for both Steve and Diddy, often dropping hints in public that these two have a bunch of skeletons in their closets. All the way back in 2009, Katt publicly challenged Steve Harvey to a comedy battle, claiming that he would take Steve's King of Comedy title.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to you, because you didn't have to accept this. You could have just said, no, I'm not going to do it. You have been the king of comedy as long as we've had one. Matter of fact, the whole phrase, king of comedy, can be attributed to you.
Now, Steve initially accepted Katt's offer. However, he later changed his mind and the battle never happened. And we can all probably guess why. But Katt never stopped coming for Steve, and in a recently resurfaced freestyle from 2011, Katt threw shots not only at Steve, but also at his friend Diddy.
What's happening, Puff? I'll be back to you if JD ain't had enough. Yeah, and Steve Harvey, I heard about your book. I'm proud of your success, but look, better stop telling people that lies before you be somewhere and meet one of my motherfucking guys. You see, when I'm around them, it's polite.
Now, a lot of people back then dismissed Katt, claiming he was on drugs and even speculating about his mental health. But the tables have turned for sure. And people are now saying that Katt has been trying to warn us all along about Steve and Diddy. It's also widely believed that the higher-ups in the entertainment world decided to shut Katt down because Katt wouldn't play along with the rules. In other words, he wouldn't keep his mouth shut about the behind-the-scenes dirty work that goes on. And we all know by now that anytime a celebrity tries to out of the industry, they either end up dead under mysterious circumstances, or they are pegged as a crazy drug addict. One fan commented on the recently resurfaced video of Katt dissing Steve and Diddy, saying, "Katt was trying to tell us 12 years ago, and the way this video has aged is insane. Everything is really being exposed now." And another person added, "Steve Harvey knows that he can't handle Katt Williams. That's just a fact. Everyone that's ever witnessed Steve Harvey's comedy and Katt Williams knows that Steve is no match for Katt. And we also know that Steve drank the Kool-Aid." As for the disturbing rumors about Steve acting as Diddy's handler and allegedly pimping out Lori to Diddy, here's what folks online are saying. One fan commented, "Didn't they say Steve owed Diddy a debt and that's how he and Lori ended up dating? Which makes it worse. If that's true, it's sad if Lori is being used and passed around to pay off Steve's debts." allegedly. And then someone else wrote, Diddy has known Steve Harvey since the late 90s or early 2000s, meaning he knew Lori even before she was 10 years old when he was already a grown man in his mid to late 30s, but he still dated her? That's creepy AF. It's different if he knew her as an adult, but since she was little, it proves how creepy he is. And Steve Harvey was okay with that. Steve ain't and she's not his real daughter, but any man would have a problem with a grown man dating his young daughter. But how do you feel about all these theories surrounding Stevie and Diddy's friendship, as well as Diddy's alleged romance with Lori? And do you think Katt Williams really tried to warn us about Diddy and Steve? Comment down below and don't miss out on this next video.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Impressive Channel. Happy New Year. This new year, 2024, started off very messy. For one, Katt Williams went viral after doing an interview with Shannon Sharpe on his show Club Shay Shay. And this happened around the same time that the Jeffrey Epstein transcripts were revealed. So there's a lot of messy stuff going on. But I'm going to first focus on Katt Williams because he just flamed a lot of his peers in the comedic world. He went in on Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, Ricky Smiley, Faison Love, Cedric the Entertainer. I mean, the list goes on. He was talking about people selling their souls and their booty holes. I mean, he was just flaming everybody.
Faison's never done his own tour in 30 years. Steve Harvey don't do stand-up no more. Cedric doesn't write. I'm sorry, he doesn't write. Ricky Smiley has been playing the same old black woman forever. Like, you can't get a young fan base with that. Why Earthquake not in movies? Because he's illiterate. He can't read. And they found that out when they gave him a show and put the cards in front of him. And the Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker, not Smokey. Oh, Lord. Michael Jackson called him Christmas. You ever met a man that gave you a little nickname like that? No. Me neither. You know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is? What? Is to act like it didn't happen. They canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my pee in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, there's 3 other black guys on there. Woo. Huh. So you wonder what they did to get there? I told him no. What y'all do? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did.
So as you can hear, Katt Williams set the internet on fire with this interview, and a lot of comedians were not happy about it at all. Kevin Hart obviously wasn't happy. For those who don't know, Kevin Hart and Katt Williams have had tension for years now. Katt has kind of put it out there that Kevin is basically an industry plant, and he was basically ushered in to replace him, because Katt wasn't willing to conform to everything that was happening in the industry. And Kevin Hart was. He was willing to play the game. So Katt claimed that Kevin was a puppet, and Kevin didn't like that at all. In fact, he lambasted him during his Breakfast Club interview a few years ago.
My frustration with Katt Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You had the shot.
Katt was in that position at one point.
You were the guy. Yeah. You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You f***ed off promo shoots. You f***ed off your promo trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios stopped f***ing with you.
Why was he a risk?
He chose drugs.
Oh, okay.
Take responsibility for what you chose and say, you know what, I got to fix me and I'm going to come back and I'm going to stand up for comedy.
Katt did respond to some of what Kevin said here, and he even doubled down on the idea that Kevin was an industry plant who was given a TV show and a movie out the gate without making any real waves in comedy. At least this is what Katt Williams feels.
In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to L.A. and in his first year in L.A., he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It did happen. For a 5-year period, every single movie that Kevin Hart did was a movie that had been on my desk that all I had said was, just, can we take some of this step and fetch it out? And then I can do it. Like, it don't need to be overtly homosexual because I'm not homosexual, right? It doesn't need that to be funny, right? And me saying that and them going, oh yeah, no problem. And then going to give it to this other guy and having him do it just like it was. And acting like I'm a bad person because I keep standing on my standard. But Kevin told you he wasn't going to wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision. Duh. But you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you? It's okay. It's all right.
Now, Kevin Hart did respond, but he didn't go in like he did on The Breakfast Club. He just said, gotta get that anger up out you, champ. It's honestly sad. In the meantime, please enjoy my movie trailer to my next film, Lift, which will be dropping on Netflix in 8 days. There is a moment in the trailer where Gugu says they really love you. Now, I know she's talking about Katt. Mark your calendars, world. This one is special. Katt also went in on Cedric the Entertainer. He didn't like the fact that Cedric tried to act like he didn't steal one of his jokes from back in the day. And Katt said he gave Cedric a pass after he apologized and things were all good, but Cedric went on Club Shay Shay and he tried to downplay Katt again. And this is what made Katt upset.
Well, you were Katt. Katt say you stole one of his jokes. Yeah, it was ridiculous. You know what I mean? It was like the idea of the joke that he was even talking about don't even match up with no timeline.
The idea what this brother is talking about, that joke is over 30 years old, close to 30-something years old. I did the Kings of Comedy in 1999. Probably had been doing that joke 6-7 years before that. I don't even know if Katt was doing comedy then.
Cedric told you when you asked him, did you steal Katt Williams' joke? Yeah. He said, it don't line up. Like, what doesn't line up? This is a televised joke that Mark Curry helped me punch up and get to the level that it was. Right. So he thought that I was just a no-name comedian and that he could take this joke and nobody would know.
Right.
The issue was that I had already done this particular joke on BET's Comic View twice.
Right.
1998, I'm doing this joke. It's on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on the Kings of Comedy. And he's doing it verbatim. He's just changed my car into a spaceship. The truth don't need motivation. I'm just saying I can't let these dudes lie. Cedric's sitting here telling you why he ain't a movie star. He over here look like a walrus. You didn't say nothing. He can't even get his arms off his stomach sitting over here. Why I'm not a movie star. What?
Right.
We found out he can't sing, can't dance, and doesn't write jokes. He did 4 comedy specials. They're so bad, Shannon, they're not available on Netflix or Tubi.
Now, and he didn't stop there. He went in on Steve Harvey as well. Katt called out Steve for being jealous of Bernie Mac. If you don't know, Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley, Cedric the Entertainer, and Bernie Mac were a part of one of the biggest comedy specials in history called The Kings of Comedy. And Bernie Mac was the funniest one on the booking. However, he did not close out the show. Steve Harvey closed it out. And Steve did admit that he was a bit threatened by Bernie Mac. And for years, there was some beef between them. Bernie felt like Steve was jealous and he was trying to sabotage his movie roles. In fact, Steve was trying to snatch his role from Ocean's 11, and it created a lot of tension between the two of them. And Steve did go on Club Shay Shay, and he tried to act like he didn't have an interest in being a movie star. He said that he never wanted it, but clearly he did, because he was trying to compete with Bernie Mac for a movie role. And Katt called Steve out on it, and he also called Steve out for stealing from another comedian named Mark Curry and allegedly lying about being homeless.
The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit. This the same Negro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good over KB and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have a range. This is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey wasn't never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her. Then you went and married somebody else that think like a man.
Do you consider yourself a king of comedy? Where the Katt?
No, they consider that.
Oh,
like when after Bernie left, them same 3 guys I'm telling you about, the kings.
Yeah.
Right? Because DL is the greatest.
Yeah.
There's no DL slander gets tolerated. But they came to me. I was supposed to be the 4th king. I got the offer.
Then what happened?
But I turned it down.
Why?
Because you shit on Bernie. And I know the truth. You think I'm gonna let you shit on Bernie and then come get me? I'm the next king? Fuck you. Why? Because the whole time Bernie was here, you was acting like you was funnier than him. You stop it. That man was funnier than all of y'all, and y'all thought y'all had one over on him. You thought he was black and ugly, and you were good looking, and he couldn't make it because you did. And that ain't the way comedy works. The king is the funniest. Imagine him coming to tell you another story where he got so big and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted to be movie stars. You called Ocean 11 to get that nigga's part. What do you mean you didn't want to be a movie star? So on the behalf of Bernie, I would have to say what I have to say.
Katt Williams also went in on Ricky Smiley. Ricky also did an interview on Club Shay Shay, and he said that he was supposed to play the character Money Mike in Friday After Next, and Katt was supposed to play Santa Claus. However, at the last minute, they switched roles. But Katt is saying that that was a lie. It didn't happen like that.
You were originally supposed to play Katt Williams' character.
Yes. And Katt Williams was supposed to play my character.
This man told you he had Katt Williams' role. He was gonna be Money Mike, and Katt Williams was gonna be the Santa Claus. Now let's 3 quick points. You mean in Hollywood they cast a 5'5" black Santa Claus that weigh 145 pounds? That's your story. Your story is the Ricky Smiley that couldn't even do curse words because he had a Christian fan base. He was gonna play the pimp. Why you didn't ask him why has he played a woman in more movies than he's played a man? Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. It is sad. He was just that bitter when we were shooting it. He told everybody, it should have been my role. What he told everybody was Katt Williams, and don't nobody know who he is. I'm on the radio. I'm with Steve and Said. Everybody know me. That's what he told everybody that would listen to on the set. That's the truth of the matter. That's why I'm saying, that's why I can't let Ricky Smiley say he was supposed to play Money Mike, because I wrote the words for Money Mike. I designed the hair for Money Mike. I collaborated with the wardrobe department and made outfits to make sure that no one in America would be wearing what Money Mike was wearing.
Now, Ricky Smiley did respond to Katt, and he did clarify that, yes, he auditioned for Money Mike, and he and his team got the impression that he actually was casted for Money Mike. However, that wasn't the case. They went on to do more auditions, and they found Katt Williams. Ricky ended up getting the Santa Claus role instead.
I went out to audition for Friday After Next as Money Mike, not the Santa Claus. And that is the honest God truth. Was Money Mike, and I guess the producers, Cube, and everybody saw something different. I guess when Katt Williams did it, they added the whole pimp twist to that character, which was actually a better decision and made it funnier.
You were auditioning for Money Mike. We were told you had the role, and then that switched up overnight.
Ricky Smiley also addressed the comments about him dressing up as a woman in some of his roles. Katt took a jab at Ricky and said after they did the movie Friday After Next, they both partook in the movie First Sunday, and Katt said that in his contract, he wanted Ricky to wear a dress because he felt like he shined the most when he acted like a woman. Now, Ricky said that wasn't true. In fact, he actually was requested by the creator, David E. Talbert, to play the role Bernice in the movie First Sunday. And not only that, he actually defended his reasons for wearing a dress. He said all the other comedic greats did it, and he said it was just a role. He needed to make money, so he put the dress on.
You know, comedy greats like Flip Wilson played Geraldine. Richard Pryor played some roles on his show. Jamie Foxx played Wanda. Martin played Shanae. I did. Bernice Jenkins, Tyler Perry did. There's a lot of comics and a lot of comedy greats that did characters for the sake of funny, for entertainment, for the sake of the laugh. And it has nothing to do with nobody's comfortable in the role. Nobody wants to put on a damn dress or comfortable in it, you know. That has nothing to do with my manhood being lessened for trying to play a role and trying to put food on the table for my family.
Now, Katt does have a strong stance against heterosexual comedians wearing dresses. He feels like they're not doing it out of their own free will. They're doing it because they're required to. And he just didn't want to do it. And he felt away when Martin Lawrence reached out to him and asked him to wear a dress for their second movie, Big Mama's House 2.
Martin tried to put me in my first dress. When he had to go on his hiatus, he tell me, Katt, when I come back, I need you. You my young partner. You my brother in comedy. When I come back, just promise me that my next movie, it'll be me and you. We gonna do it together. You know, we get in that office and this fool pull out Big Mama's House 2. I almost died. And I gotta read this script from all these good white people, where this nigga want me to get in a dress with him. And I'm literally saying to everybody, why is he in a dress again? You already played the old lady as an FBI agent. We can play anything now. We can be playing a dog catcher this time. Why do we need to be in a dress? And I get so mad, I say, you don't want me. You want Brandon T. Jackson. And that's who they went and got. Twice I said it, they went and got me.
This interview was crazy. And you know what's interesting is Brandon T. Jackson said that he actually regretted playing this role because he felt like it ruined his career.
But the whole dress bit was already overdone. You know, it was like, it was hacky, you know, and I did it purely for the money and the work of Martin Lawrence. Only Katt Williams. Katt Williams was trying to always say, Brandon, don't wear a dress.
He called you, or is this?
No, he was saying it in the media, so I thought he was heckling me. He was really trying to help me at the time. I didn't know that. I believe it was a curse that went with that personally, because nothing went right since then. Everything went wrong when I put on that dress.
Now, Katt Williams also went in on Faison Love. Now, Katt and Faison don't get along at all. They were cool at one point, but they fell out over some money issues, and Faison claimed that he was owed $50,000 from a tour that he did with Katt Williams. And also he said Katt was throwing shade at him, and he pulled out a gun on him, but the gun didn't have any bullets. And he even tried to send Suge Knight to take him out, which is crazy. I mean, it was just a mess. And Faison and Katt have been throwing shade at each other. Faison even said that Katt was the most overrated comedian of all time.
When it comes to comedians, right, who would you say is the most overrated comedian of all time?
Katt Williams. What great has he done since Pimpin' Chronicles?
Now, when Katt heard his, he did not miss the opportunity to respond.
That's what I'm saying. If you a Faison Love fan, you mean you've been a fan of him for 32 years, you still waiting on him to do his first special? You can't just be Faison in every movie. Like, you just gonna take your shirt off on every movie? Like, why does it say that in your script?
Man, let Big Worm live. Let him breathe, Katt.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
No, I ain't got no allegiance to the man. But you got to admit the role that he played, Big Perm in Friday now. You got to give him credit for the role now. Come on now.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If what you're saying is correct, why wasn't he in next Friday or Friday after next?
I mean, his role,
it wasn't good. Sorry.
Faison responded by posting footage of Katt getting beat up by a boy on a playground. I don't know if y'all remember this, but this was wild. Like, it's weird. He just has a weird life. But one thing about him is he's going to go viral for saying some stuff. Like, Katt will always set the internet on fire with any interview he does. And this interview is no different. Everybody is talking about it and everybody's responding. Even Tiffany Haddish, he mentioned Tiffany Haddish for not doing a stand-up at the Comedy Store, which was a very prominent club where a lot of Black comedians made their debut. Tiffany responded to this and said, "I'm not mad. I just wish he would get his facts right about me. Dang, I guess I will send him a reminder text. But are we sure that is Katt Williams? He looks a lot like Charleston White." Now, Tiffany knows better than to come with a weak joke like that because Katt is only going to flame her some more. But anyway, Katt not only came for Tiffany, but he also came for Michael Blackson. Apparently, Katt Williams does not like Michael Blackson. Michael actually made a joke about him smoking crack, and Katt did not take too kindly to that comment because Katt has always been very firm on saying that he doesn't do drugs. The only thing he does is smoke weed, according to him. So he didn't like that comment, and Michael said that he was joking, of course. He told Cam Capone News that he never saw Katt smoke crack, so he was just making a joke. But still, Katt never forgot it, and it was very apparent that Katt was not feeling Michael at all, especially when they did that Wild 'N Out episode together.
I want to know what's shorter, you or my scene next Friday.
All of your scenes are small.
I don't like this.
And he doesn't like you either. Most comedians don't get booed enough. This is how you end up with a Michael Blackson who's a real African doing a fake African accent. Okay, this guy is mad at me. All I did was give him the best advice of his life. Remember, he was wearing dirty dashikis. And I told him he needed to dress to be in the position that he's trying to say that he's in. And if you're the African king of comedy, sir, there's actually comedians in Africa doing comedy. If you're going to say that, you got to go to Africa and get a school, dude. Everybody got, you got to put in some work. And these guys, they take my advice. They change their whole persona. And then they hate me for it.
Michael Blackson responded to Katt and said, "Katt Williams is definitely top 10 comedians of all time and top 5 alive, but we all have to agree he's not the Katt of 2005. I can't believe this lying, dehydrated leprechaun said he told me to build a school. LMAO, I only built a free school so the kids can whip your tail for free, mother sucker." Katt Williams is a very smart midget nigga. He took shots at the top 10 comedians alive today so we could all respond and make him relevant again. Never been booed ever, but I've watched Katt get booed in 2 cities. Cincy, and I forgot the other city. Cincy is short for Cincinnati. Effed up-ish is Cincy is where he's from. It's effed up when your own people boos you. I'm so confused. I'm African with a fake African accent. My accent had me roasted every day in school and in the comedy clubs in America, and I wish I could get rid of it. Even my Philly accent is fake. I guess the only real thing about me is my beak. What is wrong with Michael Blackson, man? And you know what? Katt Williams didn't just go in on the comedians. He was going in on everybody. He went in on Jonathan Majors and called him ugly.
First of all, they went around the world for 2 years straight telling any women that would listen that this was a good-looking Negro.
Mm-hmm.
Since when? When did y'all start liking a big nose? And when did y'all like a little head and a big jaw? When? Since when? That look like my daddy. When you start liking my daddy? You like black people's features like that? If this ugly nigga is good looking, then all niggas is good looking. Anytime you see them telling you something you can't believe, just understand it's a play. It don't matter. You gonna know it's a play as soon as they get in that position and think they's gonna tell somebody something. No, you're not. No, you're not. Marvel will cancel you you won't be allowed to read a comic book. What is you talking about? Get out of here. Get out of here, ugly boy.
Katt was also going in on people's wives. I mean, he called out Kanye West's ex-wife, Kim Kardashian.
What do you expect? The guy married a whore. Like, what?
Oh, Lord.
Like,
he also called out Ludacris's wife for no reason. In fact, he was telling the story how he and Ludacris went to this Illuminati meeting. I mean, this is Katt Williams' words, not mine. But he was alleging that they had to do certain things like change their appearance and shave their hair and sideburns if they wanted to be a part of the Fast and Furious franchise. They ended up choosing Ludacris. And once he got up in the ranks, he basically married his current wife. And Katt has this theory that a lot of these black entertainers marry the same looking woman because they're told to do so.
no, so there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams. Now, one person ended up with a light-skinned, ugly-faced wife that's never done it. Remember I told you that if I say that, it applied to 7 people?
Yes.
It's part of what they give you. If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview.
Oh, man,
Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her, and she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get.
Katt Williams is so messy, y'all. He is so messy. This interview was entertaining. I'm not going to lie. I laughed so many times throughout this interview, but I could also be honest and say, you know, Katt Williams does exaggerate a little bit when it comes to certain points. Not to say that he's not truthful on other points, but there are times when he does stretch the truth a little bit. And a lot of people he called out weren't really feeling what he had to say. I mean, even Ludacris responded to him and dropped a freestyle.
Never been Illuminati, only Illuminati, and I only left with bitches when coming from any party. Now I'm married with kids, the evolution of life. Never been a clout chaser, never say shit for likes. R.I.P. John Singleton. You never have to flex when you earn every one of your Fast and Furious checks. Afro with the sideburns. Yeah, that's my signature. Addictions on the rise. Comedians check your temperature.
That was Luda's response. And you know what? It never ceased to amaze me how much of a rise Katt gets out of people. I think he has an amazing gift where he could just capture anybody's attention. And this interview did just that. It exploded on the internet. And I honestly think part of the reason why it exploded is because they want this interview to overshadow the Jeffrey Epstein list. And I'm going to wait till more names come out on that list before I talk about it in another video. But since Katt was trending for the last couple of days, I wanted to talk about this. And I think Katt is genius because I do know that he currently is doing a comedy tour and he knew exactly what to do and say to get people talking. And it absolutely worked. Anyway, tell me what you all think about this video down below. Please like,
Wow, this is a wild story
from Katt Williams. What I'm going to go over originated from the Club Shay Shay show. It's a channel over on YouTube. They have a full 2-hour interview with Katt Williams. I'm just going to go over a couple of clips from this, but damn, is it revealing. So Katt Williams called out a bunch of big comedians and stuff, and he had some things to say about what goes on in Hollywood that I really found interesting. And it's stuff that we've heard before. Dave Chappelle has talked about these kinds of things at length. All this is doing is confirming what we've heard before. But this is the big clip. I want to play this one first. This clip comes from the Nubian Queen over on Twitter. And, well, just listen to this, because this is crazy.
My goal was to get this far in Hollywood and still have a virgin asshole. And I never had sucked a penis. That was my only goal. I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors. There you go, come on, Katt. Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter. So I stayed away from that. Now, I've had to turn down.
I want to just talk about that real quick before he gets into the next one, because there's another clip that I want to play. But the Jonathan Majors thing is really interesting, especially when you look at the charges. He was basically convicted for annoying that woman, and that was enough to burn his entire career down. Really good video from Nate the lawyer going over those charges. It's kind of a crazy situation. But check out Nate the lawyer's video on the whole Jonathan Majors situation. But he's not wrong. They can take you down. That whole thing, I've always said it looked like it was trying to take him out, but he was still convicted. And in the world that we live in, when you get a charge like that, just in the name alone is going to get you fired. But listen to this next part where he talks about turning down money. Okay, this is a really fascinating video.
$50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm teling you. That's why I can say I'm so.
He's got the receipts. This kind of shit has been going on in Hollywood for a long time. Is his name? I think his name is Terry Crews, the big dude, big guy. We talk about how there was a higher up in Hollywood that sexually assaulted him, and how it kind of got him into a lot of trouble in Hollywood, and he wasn't getting as much work. And now you see it here. He's backing it up. Dave Chappelle is talking about this, and he's talked about the humiliation rituals, especially with black men, where they always want to have them do these cross-dressing scenes in movies. For some reason, a lot of these actors, when they go in the movie, they get put in a scene where they're going to have to wear a dress. It's called a humiliation ritual. It's not just Dave that's talked about this. There's been other people that have talked about this. This is one of the reasons why they've always went hard on Dave, because he doesn't play along. But you know, him talking about he didn't want to get banged. Hollywood is a nasty place. I mean, look at what it was, the Harvey Weinstein situation. Like it happens to men too. This happens to men as well. It just doesn't get talked about. But listen to this other one. Now, this is the really interesting clip where he talks about Ludacris and Kevin Hart. He calls it he went to an Illuminati ritual is what he says here. Listen to this. This is all fascinating stuff.
Are you related to Luda?
No. So there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us, we were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person they said was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams. Now, one person ended up with a light-skinned, ugly-faced wife that's never done it. Remember I told you that if I say that, it applied to 7 people? Yes. It's part of what they give you. Okay? I didn't get it. I'm not mad about it.
How much money they give? 200?
Sir, Fast and Furious is on what number right
10.
now?
That's true. Actually, going to be 11 because
200 million. I might be giving one of more women look the same.
That's what they all end up saying at the end.
Ludacris has been a part of Fast and the Furious since the second movie. He wasn't in the third one, I don't think. Yeah, he wasn't in the third one, but he was in 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like he's been in all of them, but 1 and 3, I think. So, yeah.
End of the day. Kevin told you he wasn't going to wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision. Duh. But you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you?
Fascinating stuff. I want to listen to that whole, I'm just finding out about this today. I'm going to listen to that whole podcast because if it's full of stuff like this, that's a gold mine for just the shit that goes on in Hollywood. Hollywood is a nasty place full of nasty people. And they absolutely do put people through this humiliation thing, specifically with people of color. It's a big thing, and it's been talked about for a long time, kind of hush-hush. The first time I heard about it, like I said, was with Dave Chappelle. He talked about it on, I can't remember the name of the show, but it's like this old white dude, and he sits down with actors and on a stage, and there's an audience, and he did one of those, and he talked about all of this shit, particularly with Martin Lawrence, and he called Hollywood a sick place. Dave doesn't live in Hollywood, by the way. He lives in Ohio. So wild stuff, man. And I wonder if this is just going to get swept under a rug or not. Kevin Hart and Ludacris have both responded to this, by the way. Ludacris responded with like a freestyle rap. Kevin Hart responded by promoting his upcoming movie. Crazy stuff. But yeah, Hollywood's sick. And
You got knocked the f*** out, man!
What's going on, yo? What it is. So let's go ahead and slide on this topic. And to be honest, guys, I wasn't even going to cover this because everybody else is covering this. This is a hot story. Katt Williams has set the internet on fire, but I decided to come and bring you some commentary in regards to this whole situation because my connection within the industry actually sent me some information this morning regarding the Katt Williams interview with Shannon Sharpe, and basically someone that he knows that has a rapport with somebody that used to be a top tier Hollywood exec and still powerful in the game to this day. Basically said in a nutshell that Katt Williams said something to Shannon Sharpe allegedly that has shaken Hollywood to its core. But anyway, we'll touch base on that later on within the video. Now, before I go any further, I do want to say this. Shout out to Shannon Sharpe and his amazing platform for what they've been able to accomplish. This video with Katt Williams blew up. I believe the last time I saw it, it was 22 million within 2 or 3 days. Congrats. Now, what's sad to see is a bunch of melanated women from what I saw. Questioning Shannon's IQ level, all because this brother didn't ask Katt the questions that you thought he should have asked. A lot of y'all feel, just not the women, but the men too, that he didn't hold Katt's feet to the fire and didn't press Katt enough. Now, Shannon has said on numerous occasions that he is not a journalist. In fact, Shannon has been adamant in saying that he creates a safe space for celebrities to come and have a conversation and have a drink and get things off of their chest and just talk. And to see some of my sisters say that he has a speech impediment, he's a country bumpkin, blah, he can't hardly talk, and just mocking this man just because of this interview with Katt and his position that he took a neutral position and let Katt have the floor. Now, it turned out to be a beautiful masterpiece because look at what the interview did. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. All I know is Shannon is going to have a hell of a YouTube check next month. But ultimately, I feel that you can have your opinion about the overall interview, but you don't have to attack that man personally, right? Just because you didn't like his interview style. So as a community, we need to uplift each other collectively. That means our brothers need to uplift our sisters need to uplift our brothers, and we just need to find a way to be genuinely supportive and happy when we see people within our community make it to a level of success. Doesn't matter what level it's on, just be happy and be supportive. But anyway, as we all know, Katt went nuclear on some of his colleagues within the comedic realm. He even touched base on Diddy. He also talked about Ludacris. He made Ludacris respond with a freestyle. Ludacris hasn't even rapped in years, or should I say put out any type of music. And basically he said that Ludacris was a part of the brotherhood, if you know what I mean, right? That he sold his soul rather. And so it's just a lot. He even got on Cedric the Entertainer for stealing his jokes, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, and the list goes on and on and on. But anyway, what I want to do right here is I'm going to play you guys a series of clips, and it's going to be clips of things that Katt said and some of the responses from the individuals that he said these things about. So I encourage you guys just to sit back, chill, and relax. And while I have it on my mind, if you guys are not following me on Instagram, consider giving your boy a follow at Carolina Crush TV. All right. So sit back and chill, and I'll be back to close the video.
Katt
My
Williams,
goal
you gotta
was
get
to
your
get
knee
this
out of
far in
PB's neck,
Hollywood
man. He
and
can't
still
breathe.
have a virgin asshole and
This
never
dude
have sucked
sick.
a penis. That
Come
was
on,
my only
Katt.
goal. I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors. Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women.
Wow.
But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter. So I stayed away from that. Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting the party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you today. Kevin told you he wasn't gonna wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it?
Key homonym. This, of course, translates from the Latin to who demand. Ego sum homonym. Which means I'm demand.
Now, upon Kevin hearing that, he hopped on Twitter and he responded, and this is what he said. Got to get that anger up out your champ. It's honestly sad. In the meantime, please enjoy my movie trailer to my next film, Live, which will be dropping on Netflix in 8 days. There is a moment in the trailer where Ed Goo, whatever that name is, says they really love you. I now know she's talking about Katt. Mark your calendars, world. This one is special. Now, there's a video clip where they're saying that Kevin attempted to roast Katt. I believe he was doing something for the NBA or whatever the case may be. It was very corny and very just whack, in my opinion. So check this out. And then afterwards, more clips are going to follow. And I'll yell at y'all in a minute. So sit tight.
A fun fact about the New York Knicks. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Katt Williams bought the Knicks.
He definitely bought it.
He bought the Knicks, and it's rumored that he took the Knicks back, returned them with a receipt.
Yeah, you can do that. You didn't know you could do that.
The first person ever did.
Yeah. Oh, they gave him a 30-day policy.
He bought them for 15 days
and returned it.
Yeah. So another fun fact about the New York Knicks.
He made the team.
He played.
He played. Oh, he
He played with the Knicks.
He played
He played with them.
We know he's fast. They say he's fast.
Yeah,
He run
one of the fastest.
3.9.
Oh, yeah.
What you say? A sub 3.9.
He figured out how to play basketball from reading all them books.
3,000 of them.
3,000 a year.
A year.
That's 2 a day. At 6 years old. That's 2 a day. Who knew he was so voracious?
At the age 7, he got accepted to I think it was Delaware University.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Never made public news.
No, ever.
The biggest secret in the world.
Hey,
smartest kid to ever do it. They kept it a secret for 48 years. Yeah. They kept it a secret, and it just dropped on it.
Speaking of, he was hitchhiking on side of the street at 13. Yeah. So they couldn't find it. Speaking of which, Kev, you've had a busy week.
Yeah,
a tough one.
Yeah, real busy week, fellas. A real busy one.
Okay. Oh, John Morant coming in to the Lakers. Okay.
Another known fact: Katt dropped him off.
Oh, wow. Katt just dropped John Morant.
He gave him a ride.
In a spaceship. Okay. In a spaceship. Copy that. Spaceship that he parallel parked.
Known fact: Katt Williams has a NBA basketball court in his living room. He's the first to ever really. Oh yeah. He's the first to embrace a true hardwood floor. Yeah. He bought it in his home.
Was he playing against that little boy that put him on the ground?
Another known
By
fact.
the way, he's fighting for the MMA championship, the 17-year-old boy that put him in the rear naked choke. In a headlock, right? But it's a known fact that Katt Williams do not breathe oxygen, so it didn't bother him.
Yeah.
Oh, copy that. You can't choke him out.
Yeah,
That's
you
a known
can't.
fact.
Everybody knows that. It's a
He's
known fact.
92-6 in one-on-one pickup game.
No, so there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us, we were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person they said was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams. Now, one person ended up with a light-skinned, ugly-faced wife that's never done it. Remember I told you that if I say that, it applied to 7 people? Yes. It's part of what they give you.
Shakana! Never been Illuminati, only Illuminati, and I only left with bitches when coming from any party.
About they think they can rewrite history. Guy Torrey did a beautiful special about the Comedy Store and Fat Tuesday, where he said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made all lies. Steve and Cedric never performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. You mean to tell me if Steve Harvey your favorite comedian?
It's me, Guy Torrey, your guy, Guy Torrey. I need to address this Katt Williams situation, man. I normally don't get into stuff like this, but since my name was mentioned, I need to clear some things up real quick. First of all, I'm not taking any sides, man. You know what? He mentioned Fat Tuesdays. He mentioned my documentary on Amazon Prime right now, which is streaming strong. And he mentioned it was a beautifully done documentary, which it was. But we told no lies. And it was mentioned that in the Club Shay Shay interview that Cedric did not come through Fat Tuesdays, which is not true. Check it out. Cedric the Entertainer and Joe Torre, 1995, Fat Tuesdays. The Katt Williams himself, film director F. Gary Gray, Chris Rock, Guy Torrey, Cedric the Entertainer. Some closer looks.
Cedric the Entertainer!
Started out as one night.
When it cut off, it looked like this. You flossing in a 6-shift convertible.
So when Cedric first got wind that Katt was on Club Shade dissing him, talking about he stole his jokes and this, that, and the third, he responded and said, revisionist history. Regardless of whatever Katt's opinion, my career can't be reduced to one joke Katt Williams claims as his. I've been in over 40 movies. My specials and brand speaks volumes for who I am. I guess that's what he was trying to translate here. The people I have put on, including Cat in the Hat at the Gibson Amphitheater, and all that tough talk is corny as blank. I'm a grown A man, and none of that is gonna go like you think. You do you, and I got this over here.
What up, y'all? What's up? I'm gonna address this Katt Williams thing one time, man. I saw people on there really commenting about that. Look, I have no idea what this brother is talking about. That joke is over 30 years old, close to 30-something years old. I did the Kings of Comedy in 1999. Probably have been doing that joke 6-7 years before that. I don't even know if Katt was doing comedy then. So, again, he's a talented brother. I have no idea what he's talking about. I've never seen Katt do a space shuttle joke. So, there may be something that he believes is true. I've written a lot of jokes. I've had a lot of comedians steal my jokes as well. So I understand if you feel, slighted by that, but that's my joke. That's my joke, dog. Driving a space shuttle to the moon, cigarette, cutie pie rocking in the background, parallel parking the space shuttle. It's my joke.
Now, when Tiffany Haddish found out she was catching strays from Katt, she basically responded and said, I'm not mad. I just wish he would get his facts right about me. Dang, I guess I will send him a reminder text. But are we sure this is Katt Williams? He looks a lot like Charleston White. What? This girl corny as hell.
I'm to LA. I've been doing I was on That's So Raven. I was on all this. I did extra work. I was on all the people TV shows, the black people TV shows. I used to be on Dance 360. I've been out here. I've been telling jokes since 1996. 1996. This they wouldn't let her perform in the Comedy Store. That's true. They wouldn't let me perform on the nights in the Comedy Store, but I performed on all the black nights. They wouldn't let me perform on the nights at the Improv, but I performed on all the black and Latino nights. And so the rest of my
gas is entirely too high. That's all I'm saying. You are not supposed to be at the gas station making life decisions. You just at the pump. Just did I eat today? I can't get no half a tank. I got 6 cigarettes. I can't even do it. That used to be, if you had $10, $15, you could go to the gas station with confidence because you knew you was either going to be full or damn near full. If you had a 20, you didn't even talk to the person at the counter. You just 20 on 11. Used to be, you put $15 in your tank, you had time to bond with your vehicle. You had time to put the nozzle in and set the clicker and look through your car and clean off the dashboard and look through your CDs and run in the store and get some Pringles and a Snapper and it'll still be pumping. Now if you put $15 in, you can't even turn around good for that click. As soon as you put it in, just click.
Gas $4 a gallon. Can't even pump gas like you used to no more. $4 a gallon? You remember when you used to go to pump and put the nozzle in there and hit it? Be sitting there talking, be on your phone, hey, what's happening? Be walking around, cleaning the windshield. Speaking of gay, girl, what's happening? What you doing? You. Hey, okay, you go in there, bring me a wine cooler. Bring me a cooler, dog. Not no more. And there ain't nothing going on at that pump except you and that pump. Your ass to that pump. Give us something. 4401.
Shannon Sharp was telling him the story of some of the behind the scenes from Friday After Next. Let's start with that. when I went out there, let's just go back. In 2000, I was the host of BET Comic View and in the season 2004. I also worked on this show called Live from LA. That was my first job with BET. And that's where I met Ice Cube, if I'm not mistaken. And Ice Cube was like, man, hey, man, I like your work. I want to do some stuff with you. I want to put you in some movies. And Ice Cube started putting me in movies, which really helped my career. I was in All About the Benjamins, but of course, when they changed the ending of it, that part didn't make any sense. But then he put me in Friday After Next. And just for clarification, I went out to audition for Friday After Next as Money Mike, not the Santa Claus. And that is the honest God truth. I had no reason to go on there and to go on Shannon Sharp's show and lie about any of that. That's what I auditioned for, was Money Mike. And I guess the producers, Cube and everybody saw something different. And I think that Money Mike character, Special K, was going to come off as kind of like
just a guy who was hanging around in the strip mall who was just kind of being annoying and almost like a type of character that was
right. So Katt, I guess when Katt Williams did it, they added the whole pimp twist to that character, which was actually a better decision and made it funnier. Because ain't no way in the hell I could have executed that role like that. And I'm glad that they made that decision and they put me in a Santa Claus role, which was actually perfect. So when I got back to LA, they said, hey, your role has changed. You're going to be the Santa Claus. And here's the Santa Claus suit. Put it on, and here's your lines. Sat in the trailer, went over the lines, went over my stuff with Cube, and the rest is history. Had no reason. I just want to clarify that. Had no reason to lie.
Hey man, can I get you anything? Can I get you water or something, man?
Oh, okay.
You doing okay? All right.
Yeah.
Can I give you a minute?
Thank you. Thank you.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah.
What's cracking? It's your homie Ice Cube. Just wanted to address a few things. You know, everybody been checking out the internet. My man Katt Williams. You know, first of all, I just want to say, you know, we shot that movie over 20 years ago. So, you know, people have different perspectives and it's been a long time. I also want to say, you know, every comedian that I've worked with, every comedian that I've put in a movie, I only put them in the movie because I thought they was funny. I thought they was perfect for the part. I tried to put them in a position to win. That's what it's all about, you know. I don't, you know, I look at from, you know, Chris Tucker and Bernie Mac and Mike Epps, Katt Williams, you know, Ricky Smiley, Michael Blackson, Cedric, Kevin Hart. You know, all these guys I know are funny as hell. You know, I didn't discover them. You know, they were doing their stand-up or doing their thing, and I knew that they were great and that they could act, and that, you know, if I have an opportunity, I was going to give them an opportunity. You know, to me, that's what it's all about. far as, specific things, Katt was 100 on a few things. Most of what he was saying, a couple things, I just want to clarify. When we bring in a new, comedian, we do have them try out for different roles. So Ricky did give Money Mike a shot. But when we saw him and, we kind of saw how he moved and how he was, auditioning, we decided that he would be a better, Santa Claus, which was, to me, the perfect casting. When we saw Mike, damn, I call him Money Mike. When we saw Katt, good though. When I saw him, I just knew that he was perfect for Money Mike. And, Katt, said he wrote his role, which, the role was written, but he enhanced it. This is why Katt was so dope in the movie. Money Mike had a small role, about as big as the Santa Claus role, but when we start filming, he was giving us such magic that we kept expanding his role and giving him more to do because he was on point. When we shoot these movies, for one, the scripts are fire, or they wouldn't even do it. The scripts are laugh out funny. But we shoot the script, but once we get what we need from the script, we let the comedians ad-lib, riff, play with the words, do their thing. We give them a take where they can, or 2, 3 takes where they can go off and do what they feel. Sometimes it makes the movie, sometimes it don't. When somebody gives you jewels, you want to try to make sure that makes the movie. So in the movie, there's second thing I want to clear up. I would never shoot a scene in a movie, especially like Friday, where you actually see this happening on camera. That ain't my style. If you check out any of my movies, they're not raunchy. We did a movie called Players Club where the subject matter was a little raunchy, but for the most part, even that, we left it to your imagination. So the only reason that kind of stuff was in the movie is because you have 3 villains in Friday After Next. You have Santa Claus stealing presents. You have Damon, just got out of prison, sweating Craig and Day for the rent money. And then you have Money Mike, a pimp that treats his woman, like a property. So Craig is always fighting the villains in the movie, from the Joker Brothers to Debo. And so we already had Craig fighting Santa Claus. And the only real way to get rid of the other 2 villains was to have them go against each other. And the plier joke was always in the script, was never, we would never ever show that, that's not my style if you look at any of my movies. So, that was never a discussion, we, at that point in everybody's career, we would listen to a certain extent, but we wasn't gonna change the movie for any actor. We do what we feel, and if it was a scene, it would have been in the movie. There was no reason not to shoot it, but that's not my style. I don't even like that kind of movies on camera, and so that was, to me, a little discrepancy there. Katt, he wrote a lot of his part because, like I said, he was giving us jewels, so we were keeping the camera rolling. He was coming off the dome. He was coming prepared every day to steal the show. You know, that was his mission. And, you know, that's what he did, you know, with the movie. And it launched his career, you know. And I'm proud of the movie. I'm proud of all the guys who've, you know, come through, you know, a Q Vision production and went on to do bigger and better things. And look, you know, a lot of people are talking about pay and how much they was paid on these movies that were extremely low budget. You know, most of these guys work a couple of days, you know. And when you're doing a movie, there's over 100 people working on the movie that need to get paid. Most of them got to get paid every day. And there's pre-production and post-production. Even after you finish with the actors, you got to pay editors and sound people. And my movies are all about quality. So most of the money go up on the screen. I'm not giving you no bullshit. I'm not giving you no low budget, you know, you can laugh at because it's so cheap. So, you know, we try to put all the money on the screen. And so any actor that's mad at what they got paid, you know, just look at what you was doing and look at where your career was at the time. You know, take a look at where it is now. And Friday has something to do with that, I believe. And I put a lot of people in movies, but they ain't never put me in a movie. So you could take that for what it's worth. You know what I'm saying? I've given a lot of these guys opportunities. And I still act, so I'm waiting for a call. I ain't got to produce everything or write everything. I got love for all the comedians that I've worked with. Got, you know, much love for Katt. You know, he spoke up for me a lot. And I just wanted to be clear and clarify some things. And, yeah, man, I hope y'all have a good 2024. Yeah.
Williams. It's hard to address lunacy and hypocrisy and downright ignorance. But it's so funny how many people think this dumb, stupid is spitting truth. But that's the internet, I guess. You guys want to believe in something so bad. I guess you left God and now you believe in chimps like this, who's an actual chimp, and you're not listening to what he's saying. He's actually calling for help. He's calling for help. None of this he says lines up with nothing. He runs a Ford something sub. This is where he tells on himself. He took a tractor trailer after stopping in a tractor trailer lot, a truck stop, and aborted that truck and went to Miami. He rode in the back of that truck with a stranger. Now, back then they had a saying, grass or gas. Nobody rides for free. Katt was giving up that to ride, take that ride. Because look, a Greyhound only costs $20 to go, maybe for $50. I'm a boy. He seems to have said that before.
I want to talk about that ride down to Florida where you were selling stolen radios for $2,000. And back then, the best radio you can buy is an Alpine, and they cost $253, brand new. So stolen, anybody knows who used to steal them out of cars, you can't sell them for nothing for $100, $150.
All through history, ugly people ain't get beautiful people got beautiful ugly got ignored. Not now. You can make it, it don't matter what the look like. Trick Daddy is rich and famous. Why you Trick Daddy alone? That's my boy. Look at you, now look at him. And do that. Trick Daddy look like a number 2, a bowel movement.
Katt Williams, your little get on the Sharp Show and just get in your little ass feeling and get in ways, and you say all type of things you're supposed to say. See, there's a lot of about certain rap I could say, but I know it's some I shouldn't say, so I don't say it. You said some slick about me in one of your stand-up, you was being sarcastic, saying that if Trick Daddy can own a restaurant, you can do anything. Well, you bulldagging looking. Keep my name out your mouth. I'm not no comedian. I'm a street first, okay? Keep my name out your mouth. Keep Ricky Smiley name out your mouth. Keep all OG's name out your mouth. If you don't like a person, you don't say it. I told people that I didn't think you was funny. I ain't never said I didn't like you. And I'm glad I didn't never say I didn't like you, because by me not thinking you were funny, I actually saw you one day and I was laughing. I was crying laughing one day. Remember that little boy put you in the headlock? I was crying laughing that day. Listen, man, stop talking about other to be relevant in the game, the trend. Because you was trending today, and I'm going to be trending tomorrow on your. And I'm with whatever you with. And every comedian, everybody who you told a story got more money than me and you. You on my level. Ha ha. The joke on you. You ain't funny. Yo, stop making fun of other black folk. We have to stop belittling our brothers and sisters to get a platform, to get shares, to get likes, to get views, to trend. We have to stop.
Katt talking about people ain't gonna put no money in my pocket. I work with every single person he named so I can make some money. We ain't gotta see each other. I don't have no beef with nobody. And if I do, we'll holler. I ain't one of them to walk around with this energy. And I think Katt, one of them cats that don't need it, because he say their names and they ain't afraid to do it. I respect him. He got a lot of nuts. And I like that about him. I respect him. Katt gave me the best compliment I ever got. And, you know, some people say he gave them money. I would love to get $100 grand from him, but I ain't paying it back. But he gave me the best compliment ever. He said, I became famous off my stand-up alone. And I met him. That's when I was at the Ralph grocery store. And he was out in the car and his people was inside. They said he come there all the time. I went out there and we shook hands, man. It was good to see Katt. And me and Katt been knowing each other a long time. But that's how I chime in on this stuff. And I said the comedians that he named, when you chime in on stuff, it just makes it more valid. You know, if it ain't true, you know, all the money you got and all the blessings you got, why you on Instagram going, oh, that ain't true. That ain't true. You making yourself look guilty. And people say stuff about me. I holler at you. I ain't trying to bring the internet. Somebody trying to choose a side. I don't have no side. I got God's side. I got my family side. I ain't in that BS bull.
Playing for the Orlando Magic.
And in his younger days, he goes, you know, when people would ask me, whose team is it? When you're in your 20s, you care about shit like that. I had to let people know it was my team. But as I got older, I realized that's a useless title because the ultimate goal was to win a championship. So as far as y'all saying who the GOAT is, Katt is your GOAT. I understand that. But you really, that's a useless title. Then you say things like, yo, we got to protect Katt at all costs. Protect him at all costs. Did he cure cancer? Did he cure AIDS? Did he end racism? Did he figure out black poverty? Turn the volume down. Protect Katt at all costs. Knock it off. Keep it in perspective. This is a news cycle. That's all this is. It's a news cycle. This ain't curing cancer. This ain't nothing to protect nobody about. Oh, he shook up Hollywood. He exposed Hollywood. Ooh, he told the truth. Again, to me, this is pointless. What did he do? What did he change? He didn't change anything. Steve Harvey is still going to be Steve Harvey. The success, the fame, the money, the momentum, the adulation, the respect, the adoration from the fans is still going to all be there. Same thing with Cedric. Same thing with Chris Tucker, same thing with Ludacris, same thing with Wanda Sykes, same thing with me, same thing with Ricky Smiley. Everybody that he named will still go on. Nothing has changed. All right? This wasn't life or world changing. It's a news cycle. And it's funny because this is why I say social media is both a blessing and a curse and dangerous. This phone, this device gives everybody a platform. Everybody gets to be heard, which is power. And everybody don't deserve power. I'm reading some of the comments about Kevin, and I'm reading stupid shit. Oh, man, Kevin's fan base is turning on him now. Katt done made it so his fan base is turning on him now. Kevin ain't never been funny. He ain't funnier than Katt. Well, first of all of that is subjective. Secondly, the people are saying that Kevin ain't funny or he ain't funnier than Katt were never Kevin Hart fans to begin with. Don't get it twisted. Kevin Hart is a global phenomenon. He's globally famous. He can go anywhere in the world and sell out a whole arena or stadium by himself. The box office movie receipts don't lie. The tickets, the receipts at the ticket gate that you go through when you go to the arena sold out, don't lie. So for all these people that think that Katt has turned the world on its axis about Kevin, knock it off. Turn the volume down. Kevin is just fine. And again, those people saying that negative shit were never fans to begin with. But you let people tell it, average Joes who now have power because of the phone and the platform. Oh, we must, Katt exposed the Illuminati. We must stop giving our money to these devil worshipers. We must take our power back. What power? You're not that serious. You're not that important. Stay in your lane. And last but not least, here's this. While we're all focusing so hardly on what Katt did, which again, I think was unnecessary and pointless, there's a young, beautiful black actress who we all know and love, who recently has been all over social media, literally in tears, because she's not getting the money that her counterparts get. Taraji B. Henson. So while we're all focusing on the Katt Williams hype drama news cycle, there's that. So my point is this. Instead of Katt using his platform and his mouthpiece and his power and his influence for drama and a news cycle that's going to be gone when the next hot news cycle comes along, why don't we use our powers and our platform to figure out how we as a community in Black Hollywood can come together and amass our own wealth, build our own empire, be like Jeffrey Katzenberg, Michael Eisenberg, and Steven Spielberg. I don't. But form our own DreamWorks. Tyler Perry is cool, but that's all we got. Why don't we figure out how to make it so that we don't have to come to them hat in hand and wait for them to feed us? And then once we make the money that we need to make building our own empire, funnel that money back into our communities and our ghettos and our neighborhoods and our streets so that we could build back up before the Tulsa, Oklahoma City have our own well-to-do. Wouldn't that be a better use of one's power and one's influence and one's mouthpiece than to create a news cycle? Because all Katt did was do what we as kids would do on the playground in elementary school or middle school. It was like a rap battle or a roast session. Katt said what he said, and my people, black people who I love, who love drama, got a chance to go, oh, did you hear what he said? Oh, he shook up the game. He exposed Hollywood to Illuminati. Oh, that's all he did. And black people, y'all live for that. Y'all live for that drama. We focused on that when we should be focused on how do we form like the Avengers and really take this over. Because we know what we do when we come together and we get our heads right.
All right, so you guys just heard all of that, but what I want to do right now is just go ahead and jump into the text message that was sent to me this morning by my plug. Now, I do want to let you guys know up front that I will be filling in some grammar errors that was made when he sent me this text. So it says, hey, man, I heard from blank. I can't disclose this person. And he says that he doesn't expect Katt to live to see the year of 2025. This former powerful executive says that Katt says something that really has a lot of people pissed off, and a lot of these demonic producers, gatekeepers, and S-Africers, and I'm paraphrasing there, guys, that have infiltrated Hollywood for years with their demonic tactics to humiliate and emasculate black men, undermine our sisters, just for them to secure roles in Hollywood, are shaking in their boots. I'm told that it's not what Katt necessarily said on camera, it's what he said off camera to Shannon Sharpe. All right, so you guys just heard all of that. Now, I will say, to protect the integrity of my channel, even though there wasn't too much information attached to it, that everything that I just conveyed to you is all alleged. Now, I did get some more information while I'm doing this video, but I'm not going to say anything about it now. We have to do some more research in regards to the information that was given. Now, I will say this. When I tell you that this is the most shocking information that I've ever received, if it's true, I mean, it's that shocking. But anyway, let's just move along. I just want to talk briefly about the Katt Williams situation. Listen, he may have made some mistakes here and there and didn't quote everything accurately, but for the most part, the brother didn't lie about a lot of things. He told the truth. He was 100 about it. And it's just extremely astonishing to see that when Katt speaks, the respect that he garners, because if his word didn't matter, why are they coming out trying to defend themselves? It just lets you know that Katt has a solidified place in the game. I like Katt. I think he's funny. He's one of the funniest comedians that I've ever came across, right? And I'm going to protect Katt at all costs, Aries. I really am, especially against you and Tiffany, because y'all suspect anyway with the whole situation that went down with them cheering, all right? But yeah, my thoughts is Katt is a real one. You know, he's very courageous and he's going to stand on business, all right? But anyway, guys, I know this video has been long, so I'm going to let it go.
How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are Katt Williams, baby, you are being vindicated left and right. If you guys don't know, Katt Williams broke the internet on Club Shay Shay. They did the interview that is fast going to be the #1 podcast in America in history. It's already at #3. Baby, the other ones have been up for over a year. They're at #2 and #1. He is probably going to become the #1 podcast that ever happened in history. Baby, but so many people were there. They were mad. They wanted to say this. They wanted to say that. Even my good man, Mike Epps, had some mess to say, clowning Katt for wearing fake Fendi, right? People clowning Katt, talking about, how was you a track star, the fastest person on earth? Clowning. Well, guess what, baby? We pulled the receipts. Katt Williams been vindicated across all fronts. We even pulled receipts where Bernie Mac was speaking out on the same powers that be that are coming against Katt right now. And y'all, let's get into this. Where y'all want to start at first? Y'all want to start at the funniest thing? I do. Y'all, Katt said, y'all gonna stop playing with me. Why did he film? Look at this, y'all. Just look at this presented without comment. Remember when Katt said that he was a track star, one of the fastest people in the world, and everybody's just like, what you talking about? Blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? He submitted video evidence. Let's get into this. Let's go. Listen, Katt Williams is standing on business. This man is standing on business. Ooh, look at this. Look at just zooming. Thundercats. Look at him. Just zooming. He's not playing with y'all anymore. Now, why is that so important, right? Okay. Now, a lot of people are saying he ran 94 feet, which is 31.3 yards. He ran 4.4s for 31.3 yards. Assuming he maintains that velocity for another 8.7 yards, his 40-yard time would be 5.71. Still faster. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, but it's not what he said. But guess what, y'all? He's still faster than 75% of Americans. He's still faster than 75% of Americans. Y'all, on top of that, Mike Epps had some mess to say about Katt Williams. I got to set this up because at the end of the day, Mike Epps was honest, right? He wanted some of that publicity, and ain't nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, I actually don't know why everybody is so mad at Katt Williams because, baby, he gave a breath of life into everyone. Nobody talking about, don't get me wrong. We all know Cedric the Entertainer has a name, but nobody talking about Cedric the Entertainer. Steve Harvey was going through his own mess with Marjorie. Now the topic's been changed. So Kevin Hart has been given a chance to redeem himself, to prove that he is worthy of these accolades that the powers that be keep heaping on him. I mean, he fell short because if you saw him trying to roast Katt Williams on ESPN, you would know that wasn't it. Speaking of which, right? Remember when Katt Williams said that Kevin Hart was an industry plant? He tried to roast Katt and pretty much prove that he's just not funny. He don't got it anymore. And then I literally went on Google and I saw timeline of Kevin Hart, Katt Williams feud. Kevin Hart laughs off insult from Katt Williams interview. Fact check it. Kevin Hart roasts Katt Williams on NBA Unplugged amid dispute. Kevin Hart fires back at Katt Williams on NBA Unplugged with hilarious Knicks facts and stand-up. Kevin Hart fired. The media, if you didn't know anything about this, would lead you to believe that Kevin Hart ethered Katt Williams and put it in his place. Instead, he gave a bunch of mediocre jokes, pretty much proving Katt's point, and had his nickel brigade be like, right? What did they call him? The plastic cup brigade. Now listen, but let's get into some real stuff because we need to actually talk about Mike Epps, okay? Mike Epps actually popped up and he had some mess to say about Katt Williams. One of the things he had to say was he wished that Katt Williams, he loves Katt Williams. He just wishes that Katt Williams had worn a real Fendi jacket because he tried to say that, first of all, he says that Katt Williams lied about some things during Shannon Sharpe's interview, saying, I put him in a movie when no one wanted to work with him. I'm confused. Maybe Epps is saying that they're friends, but yes, that's what happens when you put people in a movie when they are just starting off. But anyway, Mike Epps, he's a real one. He said, I put all these MFers on and still putting comics on today. None of y'all brave enough or care enough to work with him or come around him. Stop making this ish so bad. We comedians. I put him in a movie when no one wanted to work with him. Some of that ish he said was true and some of it was not. At the end of the day, we all Black men in a business that is not ours. I cracked on this jacket because that's what comics do. All this ish is marketing, dummies. All the ish he said, and y'all mad at me. Get the F out of here. We having fun, y'all stressing. Now, here's what I do want to say. Katt Williams' interview was funny. It was amusing. It was informative. He dropped a lot of truth. But the one thing I do love about Katt Williams at the end of the day, it was very, very, very lighthearted. Here's what Mike Epps had to say.
And that fake Fendi jacket.
Oh, that fake Fendi jacket. That fake Fendi jacket. Well, guess what, y'all? That fake Fendi jacket has popped up. Katt Williams' jacket is actually current 2023 winter, 2023-24 winter Wonderland, whatever you want to call it. It's on the Fendi.com website for $4,200. Y'all, Katt Williams even vindicated with a fake Fendi charge, as much as everybody is coming out and trying to make something stick. Nothing seems to be sticking. Listen to Mike Epps' follow-up. And honestly, this ain't no shade of Mike Epps. He is true. He is a real one, but at least he was honest. Everybody else is doing think pieces about Katt Williams, about why he caused the fall of the Roman Empire. Mike Epps was the real one and actually told the truth. Listen to what he said.
I did get a little jealous, man. Katt broke the internet and didn't say my name, good or bad. I need the press too. Say something about me in there, man. Say something bad about me. I don't care. I got a special coming out. I need the press. Man, we did a movie together. Damn.
Exactly. At least he was honest about it. He wants some press. Everybody that's talking about Katt Williams wants some press. You know who also needs some press? Some people are out here doing tributes to Steve Harvey and Katt Williams and his Mr. Potato Head actual tribute. Look at this. They said Katt Williams said it. I drew it. Katt Williams said it. A lot of people thought that Katt Williams was hating on Steve Harvey, but we have flashbacks of Steve Harvey at the comedy club proving ain't nothing wrong with it, but he likes to wear lace fronts. The only person with real hair don't care over there is Marjorie. No shade to Steve Harvey, right? But the only person with real hair don't care over in there is Marjorie in that house, right? And also, y'all, a lot of people thought that Katt Williams was being way too hard on Bernie Mac. Keep Bernie Mac's name out of your mouth. How dare you? This, that, and the third. Well, baby, listen. All I want to say is everybody, including Bernie Mac, has been talking about Katt Williams. Okay, let's get a flashback into Bernie Mac, because Bernie Mac, God rest his soul, even co-signed on what Katt Williams was saying before he was laid to peace. Listen to this. Okay, so y'all remember Ed Lover, right? He actually did a podcast where he confirmed Katt Williams' story. Before we roll into Bernie Mac, I want to end on that one. But listen to this, because baby, we don't even need Bernie Mac, but we got him. But listen to what Ed Lover is actually saying went down.
He was supposed to be one of the new kings of comedy, that they approached him after Bernie passed and they wanted to take it back out. And he was supposed to be a new king of comedy, but he didn't want to go on the Kings of Comedy tour because of Steve Harvey's treatment of Bernie Mac. He has a lot of respect for Bernie Mac, and I love Bernie Mac. Y'all know Bernie Mac was in Who's the Man? Bernie Mac was a friend of mine until he passed on. When I tell you one dude that has never, ever, ever changed, y'all have heard me say this before, is Bernie Mac. Love Bernie Mac. And Bernie, the stuff that he said, Katt Williams said about Steve Harvey calling to try to get Bernie's role on Oceans and that kind of stuff, Bernie told me out of his own mouth. And Bernie, I've known Bernie. Like I said, we did Who's the Man in like 91 to 92. The movie came out in 93. Okay? I met Bernie during the taping of Def Comedy Jam. And I went and said, we need Bernie Mac in this movie. Bernie Mac has never fronted on me. Bernie Mac has never lied to me. I believe Bernie Mac when he say Steve Harvey hated him.
Okay. Like you said, like people said, and the industry is rallying around him, he believes him when he said that Steve Harvey is hating on him. But let's see if we can get this out of Bernie's mouth himself. Hold on, let me pull this clip. All right, don't sleep. I got it. I got the clip. Let's go.
You know, she's see my stuff, my new stuff, and all that kind of stuff. Especially when I do my single dates, and I'm trying to school her. You don't do your material around a lot of comedians. That's like stealing in front of the police. You don't do it. They mean well, but they sit on the side. Ooh, that's funny. Next thing you know, you see it on HBO or something. You be sitting at home. That shit's mine, you know. But ain't nobody gonna believe first come, first serve. You know. So when you do new stuff, you never. I'm telling you, for you comics coming up, never bring your stuff out in front of a house full of comedians. You will never work a lot. Especially established comedians like myself, you'll never work a lot. I got too much pride. I can't take something that ain't mine. You know what I mean? I can't go up and say something ain't mine. The kick about going up there is making people laugh about something that you wrote. It's easy to go out there and do somebody else's material.
Yo, Bernie Mac was a real one. And everybody said that when he was saying that, he was taking shots at Steve Harvey. So where are we at? Because as much as the industry clicks, the cool kids, the Hollywood elites, the people getting millions of dollars, 7 sitcoms, 10 things, sold out shows, and all this other stuff, at the end of the day, everything Katt Williams said was factual. It was linked to the truth. Now, y'all can trip him up. Maybe he said 10 when it was 15. Maybe he said 20 when it was 22. I get it. But at the end of the day, Bernie's confirmed that Steve Harvey took from him. Bernie's daughters confirmed that Steve Harvey broke her daddy's heart, right? Ed Lover confirms that Bernie said out of his own mouth that Steve Harvey snaked him. Okay. Now, Steve Harvey can respond, but you're going to go against Bernie Mac, his daughter, and Ed Lover. And forget about Katt Williams. Mike Epps tried to clown him, talking about, and well, not just Mike Epps, because we got love for Mike Epps, but people trying to clown him, talking about he wears fake Fendi. It's literally right there in the store. You can get yourself one too. People try to say he lied about being like a fast. Okay, maybe he wasn't doing 5/4s, whatever you call it, but baby, he's still faster than 80% of people on this earth. He's still, his IQ is still up there. Maybe he didn't read 3,000 books, but at the end of the day, how thick were those books? And 3,000 books? Listen, at the end of the day, 95% of what Katt Williams has said has been confirmed. Baby, these people are going to have to stop going up. And the best part is Kevin Hart confirmed and took his own L, confirming that everything he said about him being unfunny was true. Y'all, I'm going to leave it to y'all, what y'all think. But I do have to tell you, make sure you hit baby, it is 2024 and everybody that you had as a false idol is getting exposed. Y'all, Taraji B. Henson just went off on what happened at The Color Purple. I believe this is one of the highest grossing movies in American history with an all-black cast or all-black leads. But baby, guess what? What's his name? Katt Williams already told us and actually broke it down in Club Shay Shay just how sad it was. And the Monique came in for an assist. Baby, I love it when the Boule is being taken down. I love it when the Black Illuminati is actually being exposed. But y'all, first let's get into what Taraji B. Henson had to say. Y'all, if you guys don't know, on the tour, there were a lot of TikToks showing that maybe Taraji P. Henson and Oprah had a little beef. I'm going to put that TikTok in right here for y'all to actually see. Hold on. Let's get that.
Now, I want y'all to see how Oprah acts around Taraji after she spoke on how she was about to walk away from The Color Purple because Oprah was not trying to pay her what she's worth. Now, watch this. See how Taraji looking up in the sky and stuff? Look how uncomfortable she is. She didn't even want to really take no pictures. No, that's Danielle walking up. Oprah didn't even speak to Taraji when she walked up. Danielle was another actress. Here go Fantasia, y'all. And this guy is just another actor as well. Now watch Oprah. Look at her. Look at her. She gets out that middle. When do y'all ever know Oprah not wanting to take a picture in the middle and be center of attention? Even Fantasia even noticed it. Watch how Fantasia, look at Fantasia. Look at her face. Come on now.
And then listen to what Taraji P. Henson said and how they had them driving rental cars with no security, acting like they were on the Chitlin circuit. No disrespect to the Chitlin circuit, because but y'all, this actually like literally solidifies a lot of things, because remember that story that happened a while back with Fantasia? And I remember thinking, this sounds real weird. But you know what? Listen to this TikTok.
And almost had to walk away from Color Purple. Yes, ma'am. Who said what? Yeah, it's still not mathing, and I'm really getting tired of Black women having the same story. It's breaking my heart. Like 20 plus in the game, it breaks my heart. It's like every time you achieve something really incredible, it's almost like the industry looks at it as a fluke. Like, oh, that was like some one-time thing. So you fall back to the bottom and you got to negotiate and fight tooth and nail to get what you made the last time. Where's my raise? I haven't seen a raise in my income since Proud Mary. And almost had to walk away from Color Purple. Yes, ma'am. Who said what? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because you know what? If I don't take a stand, how am I making it easy for Fantasia and Danielle and Hallie and Felicia? Then why am I doing this? If it's all just for me, why are you here? We are to service each other. God is very clever. He put us on this earth and he made us all look different. He made it complicated. We need to figure it out. And we can, and we are. You have to look at the glass as half full.
Okay, here we go. So we have that. Now get this. Taraji said that she has had enough of the disrespect. Baby, something happened to Taraji. I guess it was the Mercury retrograde along with 2023. She said, I am tired. I am now opening and carrying blockbusters, and y'all are treating me like I am an actress that just rolled off the street and I'm like the lowest paid person. She said, this is an article from The Cut. They said Taraji is not done speaking out about the ways Black women are disrespected in the entertainment industry. She had an interview with the New York Times, and she was even more candid about the racism in Hollywood, including unfair pay and working conditions. Now, the sad part is, I believe The Color Purple was produced by Oprah, directed by Tyler Perry. At the end of the day, it was Black made, Black funded, a Black story, and a Black cast. And this is the way they treat them. Now, in the interview with Club Shay Shay, Katt Williams said something that really resonated with me. He said, y'all got to stop this whole us against them. The whole, oh, why you tearing another Black person down? No, baby. No, baby. No. You need to learn who is on your team. And a lot of people be bigging up, are not on the same team. Again, if you're on the same team, this shouldn't apply to you. But if you're not, you mad.
Taraji P. Henson got extremely emotional the other day. She was giving an interview.
Yes.
And saying that they're vastly underpaid. It's the math is not mathing. They get X amount of dollars by the time Uncle Sam get his cut, by the time the agency get their cut, and what you see they were supposed to get is a fraction of that. Where do you come down on that, Katt?
It was the saddest thing ever, because imagine being in your genre, in your sub niche, whatever it is. Imagine being in your lane. Imagine being one of the very top of your lane, that to the point where if they don't take you for the role, there's not 3 Black actresses that they can say are bigger than you that we're going to give this to. Imagine you being at that point and have to humble yourself and say, they're not paying me, y'all. And they not making my pay go up because I'm doing better or nothing. It don't matter to them that I'm famous and people know me or nothing. They want to pay me exactly what they paying the new girl. And I've been suffering under it for a decade now and just taking it. I just been getting whooped. But I just got to come say, this is wrong. We should be ashamed. But this is a country where we don't pay the teachers, and then we say the kids is the most important thing. You can't have both of them. If you do that, we're going to end up with a generation that can't read. Guess what? Generation Z and A can't read. Why? Because who was giving them a book? We gave them an iPad or a phone, and now the letters don't mean there's no cursive writing.
Right.
Sorry about that. So yeah, this is what period of time it's in. It's the period where the victims get to say, they've been hurting me for a long time. And I just ain't said nothing because I was trying to be strong and I didn't want to shame anybody. When our people call out for help, we got to understand. You know what I mean? Like we put too much pressure on Tyler Perry. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He ain't put nobody on. The people that been in his productions, they not famous. All of them can walk through the mall without security. Be what you're gonna be, but put your people on. If you a gay person and you in there, put some other gay people on. Put somebody on. Or don't be wondering why people keep saying gatekeepers. Because clearly, y'all are keeping these gates. Clearly.
To put my brother Tyler Perry in that. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. See, when I see you do a clip and you go to T.D. Jakes' church, and I watch you write a check for $1 million in front of the congregation, and you give it to this man, was that for the congregation to give more money? Or was that really genuine? See, when no one's watching, who are you? To when everyone's watching. And we got a chance to see him when no one was watching. See, your listeners will hear that audio when he makes statements like, and I got to bring this up, Daddy, because it's a part of it and you understand the devalue of Black women. Recently, I saw a quote that my sister Taraji put out there and said, Tyler Perry was the first person to pay me my quote. And that's a Black man. Well, he says, I'm the first person to pay Taraji P. Henson the most money she's ever made. And then we said, but did you pay her fairly? And then he said, I paid her more than she's ever made. What does that mean, brother? When you go and buy Tiffany Haddish a car, see, if we remember the movie Cadillac Records, I'll keep buying you a car, but I won't give you what you're worth. So,
because if I give you what you're worth, you can buy your own car.
I don't need you to buy no car. I don't need you to pay for me to go on no vacation. Just give me what my resume says I'm supposed to get.
She said, first of all, Taraji P. Henson, who can open any movie, who is well loved in the Black, white, anything community, said she was made to audition for The Color Purple, despite being director Blitz Bali's first choice for the role. When asked, she can't remember the last time she was made to audition. She said, at this point, I'm a Golden Globe winner and an Academy Award nominated actress. So I went in there with a chip on my shoulder because I was like, you will never second guess me again. Once she actually got the part of Suge Avery, she said she almost walked away from the film due to contract negotiations. Now, if y'all gonna be in the, not y'all, but if people are gonna drop into my comments talking about something, what she thinks she too big to audition, baby, that's the way it goes in Hollywood. When you come with a name, when you come with clout, when you come with notable talent, you don't audition for roles because guess what? You are bringing your audience with you. Say what you want about Taraji P. Henson. She brings an audience, just like say what you want about Katt Williams and say what you want about Monique. They bring audiences. And baby, these audiences, Black, white, Puerto Rican, Haitian, Asian, whatever you want. He, she, they, them, bring them into the seats. That's why you're not made to audition, because you are a commodity. Get this. She said, I haven't had a raise since Proud Mary, and I didn't get a raise. They don't care. They're always looking for a deal and trying to pay you the least amount. And then we're going to talk about the way she said they gave us rental cars. They gave them rental cars to drive. She said, I was like, I can't drive myself to set in Atlanta. This is insurance liability. It's dangerous. Now they robbing people. What do I look like taking myself to work by myself in a rental car? So I was like, can I get a driver or security to take me? I'm not asking for the moon. They're like, well, if we do that for you, we got to do it for everybody. Do it for everybody, she said. And stuff like that, stuff I shouldn't have to fight for. If you guys don't know, on all films, even the small ones, when you have actors of this caliber, they do get security. They do get drivers. I don't care if you don't think they deserve it. They get it. It is a slap in the face that on a Black production, they were putting Ubers and rental cars. Look at how much this film grossed.
And no lie, if y'all remember, right? Remember I told y'all something was super weird about Fantasia? Remember the whole thing when Fantasia got upset because she got kicked out of this Airbnb? Side note, it did look like it was racism, but remember I said there was something super weird about Fantasia staying in an Airbnb during a blockbuster movie press run. That's super weird that her family weren't put up in a hotel suite like every other family. Also, the fact that Oprah had to let Fantasia use her private jet when she missed a flight and had to stay home. It's so disrespectful how the studio treated this Black cast. This is a big, major blockbuster budget movie. And had people in run-down Airbnbs and wouldn't pay to comp someone's flight to do a press run for their own movie? Tell me Monique was wrong. Tell me Monique was MFing lying. Maybe she might tell a joke, but she ain't never told a lie. To quote Katt Williams, the truth don't need any motivation.
Now listen, Katt Williams hit it on the head. Monique hit it on the head. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. And let me just tell you, right? Of course racism exists. Of course all this stuff exists. But at the end of the MFN day, we need to learn class solidarity. No one makes $1 billion without exploiting someone. Just because someone look like you, talk like you, got the same story as you, does not mean that once they get a certain point, their allegiance is to their bank account. Their allegiance is to their class. Their allegiance is to their new social status. And they will do whatever they need to do to uphold that. Like Monique said, you paid them the most, but did you pay them their worth? Because at the end of the day, if I'm praising somebody that looks like me, if I'm praising somebody that came from my community, I'm not praising you. Well, I mean, that's not true. There is something to be said about representation. Let's be real. There is something to be said about representation because, baby, we need to see representation in every room. Every race does, in every room, no matter how big or small. But I'm not going to big you up for saving. Okay. I will be like, great, Tyler Perry, great Oprah, great. You represent us. That's great. We need that. But when it starts going into hero worship and y'all want to act like people are saving people, you ain't got a lot to kick it. You are trying to use your affinity and our origin story similarity to exploit a community that used to be exploited by others. Now you can argue whether that is a good thing, right? Would you rather be exploited by somebody that look like you or somebody that don't look like you? That's a completely different conversation. But this whole bigging up about all that, like he said, who's the last person Tyler Perry put on? But Tyler Perry's put on. Who's the last person Oprah put on? Taraji P. Henson gave her a star-studded action pack. Made sure the staff was good. Look at the way Oprah was treating her. Again, I don't know. Now, Taraji went on to add that there's racism in the industry. It's also a poor business strategy. She said, well, Black films, they just don't want to take us overseas. And I don't understand that. Black translates all over the world. So why wouldn't the movies? If you've never been out of America, you wouldn't know, baby. Our culture is exported as American culture. We translate into every nation, everywhere. It is the same way that men think that women can't open movies. The same way that men think that women deserve to be. It's the same way they feel. Just because you don't believe it, just because you don't see it, don't mean the world do. Anyway, right? She said, I have a following in China of all places. I've been there. She does. Y'all not going to capitalize on that? Don't everybody want to make money here? She even when she was on Empire, a mega hit, a show that anchored by her performance, she couldn't get respect. The actress told the Times that she was fighting for trailers that weren't infested with bugs. When she walked over to the neighboring set of Chicago PD, she saw that they had nice trailers. She said, I'm tired of Black women having this conversation. I'll be glad when it's a different conversation we're having. Luckily for us, she refuses to give up despite the insistent disrespect. She said, I've said all that just to say I can't quit. Again, the fact that she's having these conversations when Oprah and Tyler Perry What y'all think in the comments? Listen, Katt Williams might tell you a joke, but he'll never tell you a lie. And as much as everybody disrespected Monique, and yes, I know her whole calling her man daddy in the middle of an interview, we're going to have to let that go. And we're going to have to let her bonnet stuff, respectability politics go. Because at the end of the day, Monique tried to tell us, and she got dragged for it. And now we got everybody else saying that exactly what Monique said was right. And what everybody got to say now, what everybody got to say. And the people Monique called out for staying silent, Katt Williams is calling out too. Baby.
Go figure. Follow me.